Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Joel Dehls, and John Tortorelli. And this is now episode 377. In this episode, we're going to debate if the Suns firing Vogel was the right decision. Our finals pick, Jokic winning his third MVP in a row, the best guard 6'3" and under, and biggest question marks for every NFC team. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's listening, watching. Please like, please subscribe. John is here filling in for Drew.
Wow, John.
Drew
it's been a hot minute.
is an uncle. He became an uncle. His brother Charles
Shout out to Charles.
Shout out to Chuck.
has a kid now, and he's spending time with his family. Well deserved. And that's why John is here. John, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Tell me you got bigger.
What's good?
Got bigger.
The arms do look
Thank you.
good.
I appreciate it.
Look nice in the shirt, man.
He went to
Thank you.
fix the mic. I saw the muscle pop.
Yeah, you see the
Oh,
shirt on.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I like
I've
that,
been saying
John.
vascular too. I've been in the gym more recently, but still a little bit inconsistent. I started a program. One of my boys who's deep into powerlifting. So I'm not a powerlifter though. I've been
He's got you deadlifting?
No, I have been deadlifting since like football, but I've been lifting for about like 4 years now. I had a lot of shoulder tendonitis when I was in high school from basketball, actually, ironically. And I finally kind of got rid of that by going to a new chiropractor. So I've been able to lift more and kind of pump the iron ways I couldn't.
So like benching stuff would bother you?
Oh, I once couldn't go over 135.
Yeah.
It was really
This
hard.
is the first time me and you have got in the studio since you said you could beat me 1-on-1.
Oh yeah,
It hasn't happened
we
yet.
haven't had that one.
Yeah, this is. I didn't forget. I didn't.
This summer.
forget that.
This summer.
This summer's too late. Gotta do it earlier.
Brother. The summer's in a month.
I was gonna say. I mean, you guys haven't done it for 3 months. I'm not expecting you to do it next weekend. That's why I said this summer.
If you want to.
No,
They started a conversation talking about your team, and I was like, if y'all need a connector, a shooter, a two-way wing, a two-way
two-way
guard,
wing.
I'm a
You think you would
Yeah.
start on their team?
I don't know. I haven't seen any of these kids play.
Kids.
I haven't seen any of
Star.
these grown men play,
There we go,
shall
there we
I
go.
say.
John could start.
I don't know how he plays. Couldn't even tell you. But I will say if he's a guard, I'm the guard. The guard.
Can you play off ball?
I was KCP in high school.
Oh,
so, I mean,
perfect.
That's beautiful.
yeah?
'Cause my spot is sanctioned. Nobody's taking it. Two guard is my boy CJ.
The way you.
Never shot.
That's very subliminal shot.
How do you go about that?
What?
Deciding between John and CJ. Is it
No,
just
I
like
don't-
scrimmages?
no.
It's just 3-on-3s,
I think-
5-on-5s.
It would definitely be like John will play me first, and then judge about how he.
Oh, you
plays
want to play
it.
him 1-on-1?
Yeah, no, he challenged me, so I got it.
Okay.
And then we'll play in the 5-on-5. I'm gonna guard John because now I feel like you challenged me,
Yeah.
so now I got to
I'm with
defeat you in 1-on-1 and 5-on-5.
No, but does he have to do that with CJ?
Nah, I just want to see him play.
Oh, you just want to gauge it yourself.
Yeah.
I'll
Gage,
tell
see
you
what
what,
he's
though,
doing.
Riff, one of my favorite players is Manu Ginobili for the fact he came off the bench, was able to sacrifice. So I'm happy to come off the bench. At school, we just had a tournament. We won a little 3-on-3 tournament. I came off the bench. And I was
No, I
happy.
believe you're a team player. That's never a
Yeah.
doubt in my mind. I believe
There's
that
no
you.
ego attached to my
Yeah, I
name.
agree. I
I'll
agree.
come off the
You
bench,
play 5
play
minutes. You just
guard.
want to get the W.
Yeah, I want to cook, but I would like to cook the second unit.
You got to give him 1 in 5 minutes.
No, I'm just throwing a hypothetical out. You say you're a
Two
team player.
quarters is
You're
fine
out
with
there for
you?
5 minutes. You're going to get your looks.
5 minutes is a brief stretch, you know what I mean?
You got to get a
I
shot
mean,
up, though. You got to
Immediately.
look for yours.
Nah,
5
if I
minutes,
get
5
5 minutes, I
minutes,
need like
though.
12.
I don't think the shot matters for John. I think you just want the team to score.
I mean, I want to win, but I want to cook as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Once
Be
again,
selfish.
You sound like a me guy. I don't know. I
gotta
want
be
to win, but at
I
least
wanna-
I'm only getting
I
5
wanna
minutes
be one of
tonight.
the
I
reasons
gotta
we
poke
win,
myself.
respect that. I
I'm
respect
never
that.
going to have to kind of...
You don't want to be
Yes.
the guy. You just want to be one of the reasons.
I'm never going to impose myself.
I respect that.
Yeah, I want to be
Yeah, no,
part of their
don't mess up the
team,
flow.
You know?
You don't got to do anything crazy.
You don't want to be Tracy McGrady on the Spurs.
Exactly. I'd rather be...
Dante DiVincenzo is
I'd rather
possible.
be-
You'd rather be
I
Nas
was
Reed on the
thinking-
Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Jersey. Yeah.
Shout out Jersey.
So now, Mr.
talk
John,
about it.
before we move forward, because sometimes people do complain about the lack of bass in the microphone.
I don't talk loud enough. so I'm gonna
Just
start
make
to
sure
yell. Yeah.
the mic
Yep.
It
is directly
No,
where
I
you're
gotta get
talking.
better at that.
Your
I-
mic, the mic is
Because
just
right now,
below your mouth.
your neck is talking to the mic right now.
Now it's
Raise
more
it,
below.
raise it.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
The neck
My
is
fault,
talking
my
to the mouth. Wow. All right. Here we go. Here
No,
we
you're
go.
right though. I always listen back and I'm like, I sound way too low. So if I start to like almost yell when I'm talking, I think I'll sound at the same level you'll sound at. So
Prospects has an offer that you can claim right now. It's on the WNBA. So Caitlin Clark, superstar sensation, making her WNBA regular season debut. Right now, Prospects has a promo. You can claim the offer, 0.5 points. It's a free square. You might as well use it. Use code PAS in the description down below to take advantage. Sure. Man, Caitlin Clark is special, and I'm actually happy that the WNBA is becoming it's becoming more of something that people are watching now. Exactly. Mainstream is the word I was looking for because of Clayton Clark and his draft class in general. I feel like this draft class is going to change the WNBA.
I know exactly what you mean. I just got a Slam magazine for the first time, subscription. And it's Clayton Clark for the first time on the cover, and I was just like, 2 years ago, one of the discussions with WNBA was that are they going to have to lower the rims to make the game more exciting, see more dunks? And what they always needed was their own Stephen Curry to kind of galvanize fans. And it got to the point these last 2 years in the NCAA tournament that Caitlin Clark kind of became that Steph Curry. So in that even like as a guy, I enjoyed watching a college game with women more than the men's tournament. It's more fascinating.
Juju on her way too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you love Juju.
Juju Watson.
Yeah, she's special.
Juju's good.
And
love Juju.
I kind of think back to the NBA, how it's evolved and grown as a brand. Sure, it's Magic and Larry Bird able to basically save the game, but it was Steph Curry who kind of transcended the sport.
I'll be honest. If a female dunks on another female, I might go insane.
I
might turn that shit up. Like,
no, but John's right. In March Madness,
insane.
I was more locked into Caitlin Clark than I was for almost any of the men's games.
Yeah, who did you have on the men's? With no disrespect,
Zach Edey.
Yeah, it was
Zach
Edey versus Burns. That was like we were looking for.
UConn was destroying everybody. So.
Yeah. And exactly.
DJ Burns. That was recruiting him to play in the NFL.
DJ Burns was like a real thing in March.
We were waiting for that DJ Burns to come up, and when we did, we tried to run with it, but it wasn't that other athlete.
The NFL thing was so crazy. No, that's facts. The NFL thing was awesome.
Just wasn't captivated enough. Nah, the women's game definitely is taking a turn. You can use prize picks. Description down below. Use code PAS. Now, Riv, you want to do a trivia to start off?
I think I want to get the blood pressures going. I want to get the fans locked in to see if we know ball or not. Well, specifically you three, because I am not playing in this one. You guys will be playing. I want to say this. Dehls, God bless. And good luck.
Let's go.
It's not going to be easy for you. So I'm doing a trivia on all-time leading assist guys for their franchise. So you get 3 strikes. You know how we do this.
Oh, who goes first? Sorry.
We'll go John. John's here. We'll start off with John. Now, do y'all want me to do a random team or go in order?
Just go a random team.
Random team. All right, let's do it. John, my brother in Christ, how you been, man?
Doing good.
Sacramento Kings, my brother. Who was their guy?
All-time leader in assists. First name is Oscar Robertson. I'll go with him.
Good job. Dehls.
I'm cooked.
Oh, he got it. So you're fine. Yeah.
Oh, wait, what?
You got the
This is a new team.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So you're still cooked regardless.
Probably.
All right, so I'll try to go easy for you to help you out.
Thank you.
We're going Houston.
Give me a layup.
Houston.
Leader.
Don't think about it too much.
This is a layup.
This is a layup.
Don't think about it too much.
This is so bad, Dehls.
I don't want to make sure I'm overthinking anything.
You are 100% overthinking it. Are you drinking this cup? Like, you need this cup?
I do need this cup.
Assist leader for the Houston Rockets.
Bottle, so.
It was a recent player?
He can't.
He's playing right now, bro.
James Harden.
There you go.
I was thinking like Kenny Smith.
Oh nah.
Kenny Smith.
Oh yo.
I'm fucking with you, bro. I'm fucking with you.
And these types of trivias, more modern players can play longer.
That's true.
So
brother,
stats are gonna be more inflated too.
Here we go, Joel. I'm gonna give you a sneaky tough one. I don't know if you'll get this one right. Reggie Miller.
So you meant to say, I think you meant to say the Pacers in that one. That's not really sure.
You were so confident in it too. Ain't no way you gonna get this one. It's Reggie Miller.
I'm high, bro. That's
my
fault.
God.
That was a high moment.
My God.
That's funny as hell, bro. Why did I say? Okay, yeah. All right, we'll go with the next name. The Atlanta Hawks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, good luck with this one. I'll be honest.
Oh.
Relax.
Okay, so I'm thinking of the all-time point guard.
So just Reggie Miller is the leading assist guy for the Indiana Pacers.
Okay, I mean,
wasn't sure.
Trae Young could very well be the guy, but I'm thinking of other point guards. I'm thinking about Mike Bibby. I'm thinking about Jeff Teague. I'm thinking about Doc Rivers, Spud Webb.
You're cooked.
I'm cooked.
Why are you helping
Wait,
him?
am I cooked if
You're
I
not
say
cooked.
it's Pete Maravich?
You're wrong.
Oh,
Lenny
That's
Wilkins.
a strike.
Lenny Wilkins.
Yeah, you're wrong, and you were confident.
Trae Young.
Wow.
All right, you're wrong. It's Doc Rivers. You said it. Like, yeah, you were wrong.
Yeah,
You said he has 3,866 assists.
Lenny's 2.
So we got a strike. Lenny isn't even 2. It's Mookie Baylock.
Where is Trae on that list?
I don't have the list. I just have 1 and 2.
Okay.
So we got a clean sweep of the whole table. So, Joel, we're back to you. Everybody got a strike. We're going to go with the Celtics here.
yes.
What do you
Sorry.
mean, yes?
Rajon Rondo,
Are you saying that's your answer?
No.
Oh, okay,
I'm just thinking out loud.
Fake a layup.
Rajon Rondo.
Like for you, it's a layup. That was probably not.
That should give you a big
Thinking
hint.
about back in the day,
It's
Larry
really-
Bird. That's not my answer. I'm just thinking about the players that was on his team. So it was Larry Bird. It was, who was the point guard on that team? Something Johnson.
I'm gonna just tell you, it wasn't Dennis Johnson. I'm
It
gonna
wasn't
help you out
Dennis
there. I
Johnson.
promise you,
Okay,
it
I
wasn't.
appreciate it.
He's only there for.
He was a defensive dog. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I think I'm just going to go with Larry Bird.
That is incorrect. He's not even second place.
I would go with Rajon Rondo.
Why the hell did you do that? It's not him either. Dehls, come on. Think of your Celtics, man.
I know it's an old player just based on what you've said already. I know it's an old
Oh
player.
my god. Oh. I didn't think of him. I forgot. I forgot.
You said Rondo.
I forgot.
I don't know. You guys know. I don't know.
He went to school in New York.
Can I say it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Plug in.
It's Bob Cousy.
Oh, Bob fucking Cousy.
I was thinking Rondo enough longevity to get it.
And at second place is John
player.
Havlicek.
I thought about how.
They had, Bob had 6,945.
No, that was pretty bad. That was really bad.
Shout out to
Joel,
Bob.
we're back to you, my brother and Chris. You have 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take a strike away because you answer for Dehls.
I'm almost out.
Yeah. So, Brooklyn Nets.
Why does this keep going back to Joel?
Because I keep.
Because y'all all got round table wrong.
Yeah.
This is the Nets. I'll be honest. This is a layup. It's a fucking layup.
Oh,
Don't you dare. It's a layup. You're overthinking it.
Damn. Am I overthinking it?
1,000. The New Jersey Nets.
Can I steal in?
The New Jersey. Oh, Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shit.
Yeah, the next guy is
Thought about it
Bill
too much.
Melchian. I don't know who that is. Next name, Charlotte Hornets.
So this is including. It's just dating back to '92.
Yes.
Roughly that period of time. Okay. So I immediately think of Kemba Walker and then Muggsy Bogues.
Oh my fucking god!
That's a hint that it's neither of those two players. Yes.
It's just funny because they're 1 and 2. I'm just trying to figure out if you know who's won.
Yeah. So, all right. Kemba was drafted in 2012.
thought he was 11.
11.
Might be 11.
Yes. 11. Played there until 2019. So that's 8 years. I don't know how
This
many
brother
years
think
Muggsy
this is an
played.
equation.
How many years?
At this point, you could just do a coin flip.
It's really a 50-50 for you. Yeah, it's
Muggsy Bogues.
fucking John. There you go.
All right, cook up.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, Kemba's second. He's
John,
2,000 below him.
Thank you, bro.
2,000 assists below him. So Muggsy played
Yeah,
probably
so
longer.
good amount
Layup,
of
Dehls. Chicago Bulls.
Chicago Bulls. Okay, thinking about some all-time Bulls. Of course, you have the GOAT, Michael Jordan. You have Scotty. You have Steve Kerr days. What the fuck? You have Derrick Rose, of course. Kobe White currently.
John Paxson.
John Paxton. Michael Jordan.
Great. Joel, this is a layup. The Cavs.
LeBron James.
Nice.
Let's start cooking up. All right, let's start. I'm gonna give you this hard one. The Dallas Mavericks.
Dallas Mavericks. Okay,
You're
it's
not
not
gonna get this
Luka.
right.
You say I'm not going to get this one. I think of Rolando Blackman. And Derek Harper.
Can I just look up Rolando Blackman? I'm not cheating.
Jason Kidd. Okay, I don't think it would be Kidd.
You said it.
Rolando Blackman.
No, Dehls. You're not gonna get this.
Rolando Blackman. What a pull.
Is it Ronaldo?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was he good?
Rolando Blackman.
I mean, you said that John.
He was a 3-time All-Star.
He did say it.
He was a 3-time All-Star.
No.
All-time leader for Dallas. I don't know.
Of course you don't.
I'm gonna go with Jason Kidd.
It's Derek Harper, man.
Oh man. I was actually thinking about Jason Kidd and
Rolando
Steve
averaged
Nash.
4 assists a game. I should have just said Harper, bro.
Were you between? Did you say Harper too?
I
He did.
Oh,
Yeah.
cook, John.
The
Let's
next
take
guy
that.
was Brad Davis. You know who that is?
No, I
No shot.
don't.
No shot.
Is he related to Big Baby? Glenn Davis.
Oh,
You know Glenn Davis just got arrested.
He did.
did he? What did he do?
40 months for
Say he's
insurance
gonna be
fraud,
ripped when he
right?
comes
Why
out
the hell didn't you just say
working
3
out in
years?
cell.
Because it was 40
The
months. I saw
headline
it was
said 40
yeah,
months.
what?
About 3 years.
Really?
Quarter.
Because I mean,
Man.
Brad
40 months
Davis.
isn't 3
Brad
years.
Davis was white, so probably
It's
not.
3 years and 4 months.
Damn.
Yeah.
I just feel like nobody ever says the months part. They just be like, he's doing this time.
Yeah, but the headline was for it. That's why it stuck out.
Man, I should have said.
Brad Davis said it a
So I
couple,
got
like,
3
6, 7
strikes. I
assists.
guess that means I'm out of this competition. It's
I
how it's
am
working.
also done.
I got 3 strikes.
You guys all lost.
I was going to say, I
fast.
think we're all
Okay.
cooked at this point.
So do you want to just finish off the list?
Sure.
Yeah, we can finish it
How
off.
much time? Oh, we're 15 minutes. Okay. it's
Denver.
calm.
All right. Is this a group
Joker?
thing?
Yeah, fuck it.
Fat Lever, Nikola Jokic, and one of those two guys.
Mahmoud do a roof.
No, bro.
No.
I'm gonna
I would
just
just
go
say
Jokic,
Joker. Yeah.
No.
Bro. Jokic.
Too early.
Who else did you
Fat
say?
Lever.
He was 2.
Damn.
So it'd have to be.
Alex English.
Yeah,
Really?
facts.
Alex, yeah. Alex is at 3,679.
I was
Detroit.
worried about Alex English.
Chauncey Billups.
Isaiah
Jesus
Thomas.
Isaiah
Christ.
Thomas.
Facts.
You are high, bro. Golden State, please don't fuck this up.
Steph Curry.
There we go.
Oh, shout out to
Or
Steph.
would Draymond Green.
Nah, he's not even 2. It's
Oh,
Guy
that's
Rogers.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Anybody know who that is?
Yeah, he played Wilt.
He
With
did.
Paul Reason and Tom Gola.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
How many more teams we got?
Just a few. Clippers. We could run through these.
Chris Paul.
Yeah, we can. The Lakers.
Magic Johnson.
You see? Memphis. Which is easy.
Mike Conley.
Yeah, we're cooking. Miami. Slight.
10. No,
Ten.
Dwayne
Slight.
Dwayne
Wade.
Come on.
Sorry.
Tim,
Dwayne
you're
Wade. You said
going to
Dwayne-
say Tim Hardaway. Where
Yeah, I was.
I
I
was
mean,
gonna
when he said it out, yeah, I
he's
was
2,
kinda
but he's
convinced.
like 3,000 away.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Good match separation.
D-Wade has 5K. Tim has 2K.
Yeah.
Milwaukee. You won't get this. You're going to say the second place guy first.
I think of Sidney Moncrief, but he's
Oscar
more of a
Robertson?
combo.
No.
It's not going to be Giannis, but he's going to be up there. He's going to be top 2, top 3.
You try to bait me into helping you out?
We're insinuating it won't be him by saying we're not going to get it.
Kareem.
Nah.
Sam Cassell.
Huh?
Sam Cassell.
No.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was a good one. Giannis was 2. Paul Pressey.
Paul Pressey.
Oh,
Yeah, I wasn't
God.
going to get that.
Yeah. Minnesota. This is easy. Layup.
Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, layup. Pelicans. Layup. The Hornets.
Chris Paul.
Yeah. Finally, Dehls. Thanks.
He
Knicks.
only played there for
Well,
4 years?
first of all, I said D-Wade.
He averaged
I'm
11.
taking my 2. I got to
6
take
years.
every fucking
He averaged like 11, 12
How
a
many
year.
years did he play in New Orleans?
6? 5?
6?
Walt Frazier.
Yes. But he was like a double-double machine.
Yeah, of course.
OKC?
Westbrook.
Yeah.
He's second.
Oh,
KD?
damn. He's not.
Think of Seattle.
Gary Payne.
Yes, he's first. Orlando, you're not getting this.
Penny
Not
Hardaway.
getting it.
No.
The fact
Scott
they said
Skiles
not
broke
getting
the
it,
assist record.
Ooh,
in game
Scott
was
Skiles
two.
is a good
He's
guess.
2.
That's a very good guess.
It is. He's 2.
I'm great at guessing number 2. But more accurate at number 2 than at number 1.
Damn. Sounds like a
Nikola
life issue.
Vucevic.
No.
That's crazy.
He played with Dwight.
Jameer.
Good
Nelson.
guess. That's where my
He's
mind was
one.
going.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
1,500. Sixers.
Allen Iverson.
No, he's not even 2. It's the guy I cooked up. The guy I cooked up when we did the scores. He's 2.
Oh, he's number 2 on this list. I'll say Julius Erving.
No.
No.
The guy you cooked up on the
Mo
the
Cheeks.
other trivia shit.
Mo Cheeks.
Yes, he's 1.
Oh, that's great. That's
Phoenix
Great.
layup.
Steve Nash.
Yes. Kevin Johnson's right behind him too. That's
Yeah.
20
Oh, he was an assist machine.
Portland Trailblazers.
Dame.
No.
I was gonna say Dame.
Terry Porter.
Yeah.
Nice.
John.
Wow, John, you're cooking.
Kings.
Oh my
Did
God.
that. Oscar.
Oh yeah, we did that. Spurs. This one's layup.
Tony Parker.
Finally, you're doing
Great job,
something.
Dales.
First of all,
Raptors.
I got like 4.
No, he's been cooking.
layups. You got layups.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
need something. You gotta get the easy ones.
Get
Raptors.
down the board.
Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
Solid.
Utah.
John.
Greatest. And then the Washington Wizards.
John Wall.
Yeah. Facts. And that's all the people.
When you said John Stockton, the first thing that came up to my head was Darren Williams. I've been playing too much
He
NBA
was
2K time, man.
problem in Utah. Let me tell you.
Yo, shout out
Best
to
team on the
Minnesota. I
watch
got
now.
this Timberwolves
That
Twin
is
City
hard.
vintage
And Riv's got the Atlanta
windbreaker.
shit on.
I've got
Where?
some Kawhi.
I just got on the
Leonard.
fucking
No.
Nike generic.
Yeah, shout out to
Some
Twin
Nike-
City Vintage on
No, I'm
Twitter.
saying mine.
That's where I
You
got
I
this
said it
at.
was Nike. It's not Nike.
Oh, first, that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's Kawhi.
That is a Kawhi shirt.
Yeah.
That's a really good shirt.
I said it was Nike.
Shit, I didn't
It's
even
not.
realize.
It's
Oh no,
Wow.
that's New Balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it's quiet shit.
I got New Balances on. Does that make up
Board
for it?
man gets paid.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's the slogan.
That's the shirt I'm wearing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
see
like
what
it.
you see what episode we're on? 377.
We are on 377.
Gotta
380 is approaching.
Start making some moves, my brother.
Yes, 400 is approaching. That's most
I
important.
told you a
man.
few weeks ago. I said before we know it, 380 is gonna be there, and nothing's gonna happen. And here we are.
Yeah, first plan of action is the set.
Yes,
That's the first plan of action.
gotta make it happen.
I'm
We gotta
excited.
have a
man.
meeting. Lock in Town Hall.
You gotta just text me designs, man. Just inspo. Just
Chelsea would definitely help.
Oh, nice.
There we
That's
go.
Dope.
Chelsea would definitely should help.
Let's get her in.
She said she'd also want to design merchandise first. That's down the road, but this could be a first step.
Okay, I love that for her. She's a good person.
Set design. This is tough. Yeah.
She can't really design good shit. I'm not just saying that because I'm biased. The shit she put up for the with Jaden Daniels and Caleb, all the edits she put up on my Twitter, those were hard.
Why haven't you brought her in earlier?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Like to do graphics and shit?
Yeah.
Well, we have people that do it already.
That's a good point.
You know?
Nah, yeah, it was tough. I like the cherry blossom ones. With
Yeah, those were hard.
That was tough.
Yeah.
Oh, she just made them for fun?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
She's putting like her Instagram stuff. Because she used to do it for, because she went to University of Florida. She worked on the social team there. She did that. She did it for FDU.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I love to keep the team family.
Keep it close.
Keep it close, you know.
The first topic of the show, the Suns fired Frank Vogel. 49 wins this past year. Got swept in the first round by the Minnesota Timberwolves. And now they're planning to hire Mike Budenholzer. What do you think on both sides? Them firing Frank Vogel and them immediately hiring Mike Budenholzer to come coach this team. Dehls, I'll start with you.
I'm wondering why you want to start with me. We have different opinions, I think. The Phoenix Suns aren't going to get fixed hiring Mike Budenholzer. I think that's probably clear to some of us at this table, some of us out there. I don't think the issues that Phoenix had this season was with coaching. Was Frank Vogel the perfect coach? No. But I don't think he was someone that deterred them from ultimately ending up their fate of losing in the first round, coming up short, not winning a championship. The issue with Phoenix is clear. It's on the roster. You don't have a point guard. You have a lot of players with overlapping skill sets. You have Bradley Beal, who's on arguably, if not the worst contract in the NBA. And you have that as well, which is part of the reason why, because he's getting paid $50+ million for the next 3 years. And you probably can't move off of him unless you're going to attach a ton of picks, which they don't have, which is another issue. They don't have any of their future draft picks outside, I think, 22 or 23 this year. Budenholzer, I think he's going to come in. He has championship pedigree. I do think that, as you mentioned in the past, Joel, bringing in more of an offensive-minded guy to try to work with this offensive-minded group is possibly a plus. But on the opposite side, when they brought in Frank, I thought, okay, you're bringing in a defensive guy because you already kind of have offense figured out, or at least we think you do, because you have so much skill on offense. You have two of the best jump shooting mid-range players in the league. You have one of the top coming into the season, top or 6'7" player with KD, and arguably the best Robin, and now Bradley Beal. We thought the offense would be fine. And while it had its moments for sure, especially when the big three was healthy, it also had its moments where it looked really clunky, especially in those fourth quarters, especially in those clutch moments. So more than anything, this feels like Frank Vogel, you're the scapegoat here. Of course, the article comes out with Shams saying that, there's players laughing at him when he's raising his voice, and it kind of lost the locker room of the team, so someone had to get scapegoated. But I don't know if just inserting a new coach, although Budenholzer was probably the best available on the open market, to the Suns' credit, he was probably the best option out there. I don't know if just putting him in the head coaching chair, letting him fill out his staff, and all of a sudden we're going to next season. And the Suns are a legit contender in the West. I think they're a team that their ceiling is always going to kind of be what it is. Depending on matchup, they could potentially win a playoff series because KD and Devin Booker, especially in the playoffs, we've seen them rise in moments. But if you think that this big three all of a sudden is going to work and it has the championship level upside and the number one seed upside that we thought coming into this season, I don't see that with this hire.
The Suns, to me, feel like they are trying to still find a way to make this roster work. And I don't blame them too much for it because what are you going to do? What's the alternative? And that's really what it comes down to. When you're the head of a basketball team, you're looking at all different directions. It's very easy for us to say they should just rebuild. They should trade their players. They should, get a young star. But the flip side to that is now you don't have players that fans really want to come in and see on a consistent basis and buy your tickets. That's number one. Number two is you don't own your picks. So they can't blatantly tank because they don't own their picks, which means you have to still kind of remain somewhat competitive. And I feel like this move does that. I think Frank Vogel was scapegoated. I
just want to add one thing. I think a third point too is you bring in a new owner in Matt Ishbia. His idea was go get Kevin Durant. His idea was go get Bradley Beal. So is he going to turn around in 1 year and say, I made a mistake? I think that's a big issue too.
No, because I think the way he views it, he's aggressive. He wants to be aggressive. He wants to make moves. In his press conference, the exit and press conference, he said that Picks are used to acquire proven talent. I don't agree with that thought, because I feel as if you can get proven players through the draft if you scout well and you have a good development system. And I feel like they're at a spot in this year's draft with the 22nd overall pick to where they can draft a player that can contribute right away. But neither here or there, they're not just going to push the panic button and rebuild in 1 year. They're going to try to make this work. How it's going to work, I have no idea, because it's going to be hard. Royce O'Neal's a free agent. Grayson Allen, they signed back. They're $20 million over the second tax apron. And it's just going to, I don't know if you could trade Bradley Beal.
No.
You probably can't. And you can't trade one of Kevin Durant or Devin Booker, because if you trade Kevin Durant, Devin Booker is going to be calling, and he's going to be on his way out the door. So I can understand them running it back. I think Mike Budenholzer is a perfect coach for this type of team, though, because you need an offensive-minded coach that will at least try to build a system around your 3 stars. I feel like Frank Vogel, the offense got very stale after timeout plays. They almost never got they never got a bucket. Frank Vogel on defense, he made this team a top 15 defense on paper. He did what he could with the defense, but on offense, this got to be a top 5 offensive team in the league to justify the move of getting all these 3 offensive players on the same team. And that, I think Budenholzer can do that.
You want to go?
No, you go.
I want to add to what you two said, because coaching is very important in the NBA, but ultimately coaching comes second to personnel. And you can ask Quinn Snyder in Atlanta how it's gone. When he came in from Utah, a lot of us are optimistic about the hire. He got a very good coach. Mike Budenholzer's 10 years track record dating back to Atlanta is pretty damn good. Milwaukee, he comes in after Jason Kidd was fired, and he immediately made them a number 1 seed, elevated their defense, and built the blueprint around Brook Lopez and Giannis together. But with the Suns, there's not the personnel for him to kind of create that blueprint right now. You talked about it. Some of their most important players are going to be free agents. And I like Jusuf Nurkic. He's going to have to be the defensive foundation, the linchpin, the rim protector. And I just don't see that right now in this stage of his career. So I look at the Budenholzer hire, clearly the best coach in the market. He's proven. I think he's a top 10 head coach. Him taking a year away is good as well to kind of refresh himself. Some coaches need that after a lot of years of deep playoff runs. And he's also, for what it's worth, a guy from Phoenix as well. So that's another layer, another reason of meaning for him to be here. But again, I just come down to the Suns and their lack of resources. They wasted all of their second-round picks to go and get Bradley Beal. And right now, as you highlighted, there's an overlapping skill set between him and Devin Booker. And he's not going to be the 3-and-D wing that they really do need at the number 3 spot. So I think this is a really good hire, but doesn't move the needle. Until they find a true rim protector, and there's not many of those in the free agent cycle, it's not going to.
Hiring an offensive guy was always the move. It always should have been the move, even dating back to last offseason. You had a team, you looked at the personnel. This wasn't a defensive-minded team. It just didn't have the guys. Your best defender at the rim is Kevin Durant. Your best defender on the perimeter is probably still Kevin Durant. There just wasn't it wasn't a personnel, it wasn't a personnel for Vogel's type of defensive scheme that he likes to run.
Active, athletic wings
with a rim protecting big. He's always been that way, dating back to Indiana, the Lakers. He's always had those pesky wing defenders with a rim protecting big. So it was always a tough spot for him. And offense has never been his forte. So it was always a tough spot. This team is in a tough position because of Bradley Beal's contract. Not only the contract and the money, but the no-trade clause. He decides where he gets to go. He decides what move that it's made. He decides his destination. And because of that, and on the top of that, he's playing like shit. So you have him not playing well, him kind of looking just out of whack, looking scared in the playoffs. That didn't, and then his injury history over the last couple of years hasn't been great. Takes into account he's getting paid $50 million and he has a no trade clause. It's hard to just trade him. Like the difference, like I feel like with Westbrook last year with the Lakers, they realized it didn't work. What did they do? They go out and trade Westbrook, it was a crazy contract, but they traded him for some pieces on the bench and they were able to make a WCF run. The Suns can't do that. They can't move Devin Booker because if you move Booker or KD, you have to move both. Grayson Allen is probably the one guy you can move, but you're now like losing your best 3-point standalone shooter, and you're going to get a wing defender, but now you have to find that type of wing defender that fits next to them 3. You still don't have a point guard. You'll probably have to go get one in the draft, but what if you have to attach that draft pick to go get a player with Grayson Allen? So it's such a muddy situation in just trying to build this roster. I mean, John, you mentioned it. Coaching is extremely important. It may come second to personnel, but that second is so important. And I feel like you got the coach right in terms of just what he brings offensively, what he has shown in the regular season, he's gonna make you a competitive team. But his defensive personnel, he likes to wing defenders and guards to funnel the player to the big man. They're a rim protector, and then the big man plays drop. Nurkic, unfortunately, is just not. He's none of that. He's not a defensive player at all. He's actually horrible on that end. And then Kevin Durant is just not at that age where he can be that. So now you're kind of putting Budenholzer in a sticky situation. But I think overall, this is a good move. I think you went out, you got a good hire. I don't think this is a needle mover, but not everything can be a needle mover. You have to just start, building the tree slow. You have to start having good things going for yourself. So I think getting this coach is good, but the main problem that's always been with this roster has been personnel.
Matt Ishbia said 26 other NBA GMs would trade their whole team for our whole team.
He lied.
Yeah,
Maybe the two players.
Should we go over the teams that actually would?
not many.
I have
Probably
a
all
game
the
right
bottom
here.
teams.
Yeah, I would say it's like maybe 5.
I have a game right here. Would you rather be the Suns or these teams if you are a GM
We're getting
of
different
these
today.
teams?
I like this.
The Suns or the Nets?
The Suns.
I'd rather be the Suns.
The
too.
Nets also don't have most of their picks.
They don't. Yeah,
But
they're also
Well, they
getting
have
the
a lot of
Suns
Suns
picks,
yeah,
but still the Suns.
Some loose.
I
ends.
think I'd rather be the Nets.
What?
Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy.
I
They
think
have
I'd
the
rather-
Devin Booker piece, which is a humongous asset.
I think the
And
If,
he's
reason
if
27.
things go wrong in
That's
Phoenix,
insane.
you have assets
That's
to move
crazy.
off.
I think
of.
That's
the
crazy.
reason why I would rather go the Nets because I feel like when you are the GM of the Suns, there's such a expanded amount of just expectations I just don't think you can reach.
Fair enough.
But,
But I think with
how
the
about in this
Nets-
scenario? You're the GM for the next 5 years. It's not just like because that. I get that. That's fair. Because in the Nets, like you're coming in, it's a rebuild. The Suns is like, listen, I don't know if it's going to work. And I don't want to get fired. Let's just say you're GM for the next 5 years. It's stamped.
I still might take the Nets. You're about to get off on a lot of those contracts. You still have the Suns picks. You can bring guys in. It's tough. Like I'd rather start from the bottom than be at the top knowing I can't get to the end goal.
You rather watch Mikal Bridges and Cam Thomas and Kevin
What
Durant
you're
and Devin
saying
Booker.
to us is you would rather have cap space, Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, who's going to be
and
a
some
Richard
semblance of
Cam
picks.
Thomas.
over D-Book and Kevin Durant.
I would rather those expectations of the Nets. Yes.
I don't like how you just didn't mention Cam Thomas in there.
Who would
Wasn't
you?
feeling that.
You've been talking
I'm
crazy
sorry.
about him.
You got it.
Who would you prefer, Suns
I was looking
or
at
the
their
Nets?
biggest
I would
contracts.
prefer the
Give me a break.
Suns.
Okay.
Because I think the Suns at least have something to look forward to.
What is there to look forward to?
You still have
Failure?
talent on a team.
You can, if things go
There-
right
there's
and
a
you
way.
get lucky, maybe you can really
I'd rather
compete.
be the Nets GM. I gotta fix this. Then be the Suns GM. Is like, look, the
The
expectations are
thing,
you have to
but
win.
with Phoenix is you could somewhat compete. You could win some playoff games for maybe a year or two, and then after that, once you trade Booker and KD, you're probably going to be in a
Booker's
better
getting the
position
Kings ransom.
than what the Suns.
but now I'm the GM
Nets are
that
in right
traded
now.
Devin Booker and Kevin Durant.
Fair enough.
I'd
Next
rather
team.
be the Nets.
When KD's like 38, bro. I don't
Then
think
you're
anyone's
trading your
looking
franchise
crazy.
player in Devin Booker.
Well, in this moment, everyone knows shit's not working. Got to make a move. Devin Booker requests a trade.
The next team, the Knicks.
The Knicks.
I'd rather be the Knicks.
Easily the Knicks.
It's not even a question.
I mean, I'd easily be
What's
the
that?
Knicks too. The Bucks.
I'd rather be the Bucks. I
I'd
would
also
still rather be the Bucks. I don't think they have holes on the roster for sure, but number one, you're in the East, so it's a hell of a lot easier to make an ECF or
through.
even a finals run. Just a couple things have to go your way.
Actually, I don't know. That
The Bucks
roster
is
is
aging much
old.
more.
And they don't have any
And they'll
tradable
probably
picks,
move off
really.
Giannis faster than the Suns move off KD and Book.
Everybody's old. Chris Middleton, Brook
Could be about the
Lopez,
same.
they're old. Dame is old.
It's close, but I would rather be the Bucks.
I'd rather be the Bucks.
I think this is
Giannis.
close too. I think they're both in pretty
And
awful
Dame.
situations.
I think I'd go to Suns.
And also, Giannis is the most highly valued asset over all of these players.
That means you'd rather be the Nets GM than the Bucks GM.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I definitely
Bro wants
don't.
to-
I
you got faith in
definitely,
Cam
destroy
Thomas.
I
every-
definitely
got.
no. On God, he's getting traded.
You're like
if I was
Bernie
the first in a
Sanders.
heartbeat. I
Disrespect.
definitely.
Building
I would
teams.
never want to be the GM that moves Giannis, the franchise guy.
fair enough.
I couldn't do it.
I think I'd rather be the Suns than the Bucks.
Who
I'm
says
not
you have
gonna
to
lie.
move him?
Oh, brother. Ross, we have no picks, like none.
The Warriors.
I would rather be the Warriors with their young core.
I'd rather be the
Kuminga, Tris,
Warriors. They got some
Abraham,
picks. They got some
Levi's.
players.
I think I'd rather be the
Moses
Suns
Moody.
in this scenario.
Why?
I mean, the Warriors, their expectations are similar. Win a championship.
Yeah, but I think
Neither-
they're more,
there's
neither
no,
good.
but there's
they're
no
more
way.
fixable than the Suns.
They have
think?
their
I think so.
They have their draft picks.
How are they more
have their young
fixable?
core.
I think they have more pieces to move. I think they have draft
a
picks.
lot
They
of
can
pieces.
still move or trade or draft people.
Who's more
with
valuable in a trade, Kuminga or Grayson Allen?
Kuminga.
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 I don't know if that's definite.
A large part of that's his upside, though. It's not.
It's also team dependent. If you're trying to compete, you're probably looking for Grayson Allen. If you're maybe a team trying to take a shot on a younger player, it's going to be Kuminga.
Like I think on the trade market, Grayson Allen could go for more than Kuminga.
Where are they going for?
It depends.
2 protected first.
Maybe 2 first. Yeah, I could see that. Maybe like
picks.
A player back.
2 like lottery protected
2
first.
and a player back for
Joel.
who?
Like a filler player,
Joel.
not a player like
For who?
on the level.
Joel.
Grayson or
The
Kuminga.
Suns have all their picks. Or sorry, the Warriors have all their picks, basically.
They do. I know they do.
Do you?
Minus some seconds.
But you're gonna get worse next year, probably. The Warriors are.
I don't know.
And they already missed the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The Suns didn't win a game.
Yeah.
They
But
missed the playoffs.
They won
listen,
49 games.
Brother, I'm gonna be honest with you.
won
Getting
the same
swept in
amount
the
of
first round and the
postseason
team not
games.
missing the playoffs. It's no
They're
like
similar boat.
It's a similar boat, brother.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I asked, would you rather be the Suns or Warriors?
I think
GM?
That's tough.
I think for me it's
because
Warriors.
with the Warriors, you cannot like move off of Steph for no way, no how.
No, yeah.
You can't.
But I think Phoenix, you can't really move off Booker.
So your
and
biggest
KD
trade
right now.
piece, your biggest asset, you can't. You're attached.
But I think
to
it's
it.
more likely Booker or KD get moved than Steph Curry.
Yeah, Steph might
So if
retire.
I'm- if I'm-
That's why I
Suns
think
GM
Steph's just like, I want to be here.
If I'm the Suns GM, I got a way to rebuild because I could trade these stars with the Warriors. You gotta ride it through.
No, you don't. We're a new GM.
So you can trade Steph. You trade Steph.
If you,
Given his attachment to the
you're a
organization.
new GM, you would probably trade Steph. You were thinking about it.
So you won't trade Giannis, but you trade Steph?
No, I said I wouldn't trade Steph.
Oh, okay.
But he said ride what? Everybody's gone. I'd trade everybody outside of Steph.
Steve Kerr's getting fired?
Yeah, for sure.
So what are we looking at? If you trade everybody outside of Steph, we're looking at Steph,
I don't know
Kuminga.
who wait, I just said everybody.
Yeah, so there's
So
nobody.
even Kuminga.
It's
I
Steph
would,
and
if I'm the
Who would you
GM,
keep?
I'm building around Steph one last time. So I'd trade Kuminga.
Okay, you're gonna keep AirPods and Trace.
I think you can. They're on 3 million. Like
You
they're,
keep Draymond.
yeah, you still.
So
he-
no
he's
one's
still-
Why
actually
would you
getting
be
traded
moving
then.
AirPods?
Nah,
Or you're just moving Kuminga.
Move Kuminga. You move Wiggins. Like
Wiggins has like negative value.
Clay
right
and
now.
Chris Paul could
Low-key.
be gone for agency, so you're clipping
Yeah.
a lot of cap space.
That's true. Chris Paul, you can
yourself
still
some
you could throw him in.
mid-level
And you could
money.
throw some picks in.
Had some
You quite
solid
literally can't
rotation
move Bradley
players.
Beal.
The Suns don't own their picks, but they have first round picks.
Right, but
they have
there's not gonna
swaps.
be able to use them.
Yeah, they just get the lesser of the
and they
picks.
don't have any of their cap space. That's a big part of it too.
Are they 20
I think
mil
you're
over?
right. Yeah,
April?
they have the 22nd.
They're
pick,
both
I'm pretty
shitty
sure.
ass situations, honestly.
The Heat or the Suns.
I'd
Oh,
rather
I
be
bet the
Miami.
Heat.
The Heat.
I'd rather be the Heat too. The Kings or the Suns.
The Kings.
Rather be Sacramento.
I'd rather be the Kings.
Damn, that's close, but I'd rather be Sacramento.
This is an interesting question.
I don't
right?
think it's that close.
What is
Depends on how far Keegan Murray grows.
that's the thing, yeah.
I think probably.
And
he's
again,
gonna
bro,
become
you
an
actually
all-star,
have
but-
stuff that could get
Yeah.
moved. Bradley Beal being there, just kind of a dead
rather-
pit of
That's
money.
I mean,
really
outside of
screws
Fox,
things up.
let's be honest, and this is a genuine, honest question. How valuable is Sabonis? Because you can't put him on many teams.
No.
To the right, you just need one team
Team
that wants him.
specific players.
But then what are you getting back?
But
He's a great
Couple
player.
picks.
though.
Because I feel
You could
like
get some
no,
couple
I'm not
picks, maybe
seeing,
a
and
player.
it's not even to slight Sabonis in a way, but he's just a player that can fit on certain situations on
Yes.
certain teams or can help teams. So I'm saying like if we're talking about the hypothetical, we're thinking Kevin Durant and D Book get moved. Well, D Book gets moved way more than Sabonis. Like he'll
Yes.
get you way more.
Yes.
So it's like I don't even a Kevin Durant at this age will get you more than Sabonis. I feel like so if you're Sacramento, you're gonna be this team. They didn't make the playoffs either. So this is another team that didn't make the playoffs. Fox is young. He's got to get paid soon. You got
the
Sabonis.
Kings just have a lot
It's tough.
more upside.
They're about to lose
between-
Malik Monk.
They
They are
are going to
losing
lose
Malik
most
Monk.
likely Malik Monk. But look at Keegan
Davion
Murray.
Mitchell is
Hey,
okay.
They
you
have
look
their
at
picks,
Keon
though, right?
Ellis's contract.
Keon Ellis
They've
is
got
good.
some
He's got a great
good role
contract.
players who are going to grow.
They have their picks though, right?
I'd rather be Sacramento.
Yeah.
You got
there's
your picks.
flexibility
Yes,
with
but no,
Sacramento.
it's
Yeah,
protected.
good amount.
So I think it might go to Atlanta some 1 year.
Yeah, Sacks.
I
Herder
think I'd
deal?
pick the Kings. It is close too.
Yeah.
The
I
last
don't feel
team,
great about that one.
the Clippers.
Rather be the Clippers.
They the same shit.
They are the same
They are.
shit. Is Paul
Actually,
George
you
coming
know-
back this offseason?
They- I
That's the
don't know.
question. Is James
You
Harden
know
coming
what
back?
though? If those two guys are gone, I'd much rather be the Suns.
Yeah,
It's a tough spot to be in. 'Cause I just think,
because then you're stuck with Kawhi. Kawhi's kind of like
Clippers-
Bradley Beal. He's kind of like dead money.
yeah,
You know,
the Clippers have a more
not even to say
complete
he's not
roster.
great, but it's just like who's going to
Well, he
trade?
doesn't play in the playoffs.
Yeah, who's going to trade for a guy who hasn't played in the playoffs?
Well, you're not looking to trade him if you're Clippers. At
Well, if
least
you lose
not yet.
PG and Harden, it's like all right, guys.
She want to compete in. Who's going to want to go to the Clippers if they can't rely on Kawhi? In the
Everything is
playoffs?
relying on him. If he doesn't
Because
play,
the
you're
Clippers
fucked.
roster is
They can't really bring in
basically
anybody, to be
complete.
fair.
When
I
you
mean,
look at Zubac,
They always
at the
find a way.
5.
low key.
And their
I mean,
bench.
Westbrook got a super friendly, team friendly.
They brought
deal
in
for
Norman
him.
Powell.
Harden. They were able to
couple
trade
years
for
ago.
Harden. Norman Powell effects.
They can do it.
I'd rather be
Ballmer
the
or pay
Suns.
anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if
Really?
Harden leaves, that's a lot of money off your books.
I think if you'd rather be the Suns GM, it's just because Booker's trade value.
Yeah.
Only reason.
I also feel
And-
like they might. Well, they might just have a better chance to compete in the short term.
What's the Suns' pathway to getting back to winning a playoff?
I don't. What do you mean, bro? I'm just being objective.
You love the Suns.
If the Clippers lose Paul George, they cannot compete.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the Suns keep their big three. They cannot compete.
They can compete more than the Clippers. They'd be better than the Clippers.
Sure, it's not saying much. They both lost
because of Kawhi's health. The Suns' question though is their pathway to competing is dependent on finding a rim protecting five. And when you look at this upcoming free agent class, it's Isaiah Hartenstein.
They don't even have the money.
Isaiah Hartenstein's played himself well out of that ball.
Who is available for a league minimum? DeAndre Jordan?
Well, that's Andre Drummond. Let's try to be a little bit serious here. So the options for them would be Xavier Tillman, Goga Badate, and a 36-year-old, and JaVale McGee in his
Goga
last
would be
year,
cool.
Who's
or the Magic rotation.
I think he's at least worth $5 million a year, like a Nick Richards contract.
So you'd rather be the Clippers,
like a taxpayer level, maybe more than that. It's like $5 to $6 million.
You'd rather be the Hawks than the Suns?
Yeah. No, they got a bunch of shit ass contracts. Man.
I would rather be the Suns.
I'd rather be the Hawks. Phoenix. The teams that would want to be in Phoenix's position are maybe
because I could
Nets, Hawks, and
wait. So John, Clippers or Suns?
Can move off Clippers.
No. Because I think the Bulls can move off people. Like if I was a GM, I can move off only people.
But if you're the Hawks, you can move off Trey. You can move off. You can move off DeJounte, and I don't think the attachment to Trey and DeJounte is nearly as much as these other teams we're talking about.
Isn't DeMar a free agent?
Yes.
Who would you trade then if you lose him?
If I go into
you don't got much to trade.
If I walk into Chicago, Caruso can get me some stuff back.
Yes.
Zach can still get you something back.
Nothing crazy. I don't know about that.
Who's worth more? Who's worth more? Sabonis or Zach LaVine?
I would say Sabonis because the money's less, but it depends on the team. Like I think you can poach something out of Detroit.
I think LaVine's value is really shot.
It's in the gutter.
I think it's not terrible. I think you get 2 bad contracts and 1 pick. That's better than nothing. That's better than keeping him. I'll be honest.
And then you have
That's
Vucevic.
the Mel Horford type value, bro.
Vucevic is the
Would
only
you rather
guy
keep him for 3 years?
I don't know.
But you're not actually. You're getting way more than for Trey Young and DeJounte.
For sure. Yeah. I think Atlanta's a. But I don't think
Chicago,
the Bulls. I don't think if I'm picking out the Bulls or the Suns, it's like I don't know, like the Bulls because I would have been moved off everybody.
Yeah, facts.
I mean, you got Vooch, Lonzo, and LaVine's contracts in Chicago. I'd rather be the Suns.
Well, Lonzo's done in a year. Vooch is done in a year. So it's just Zach. Yeah, it's just Zach.
You're heading into a rebuild, which is what honestly guys should have been done.
Josh Hart plays like Giannis, bro. This shit is crazy what he does. It's so crazy.
Yeah, the Knicks are up now.
He's only got 9 points, but in this third quarter, he's got at least like 3 coast-to-coast layups. Sorry.
In 2022, I said he's one of the best coast-to-coast transition players we've ever seen. Like after Giannis.
You said it before. It was cool.
After Giannis and LeBron, people gave me
shit.
What
about John Wall?
Yeah, but he was.
You said ever seen. You did say that.
But when I said that, I was.
No, you said
Westbrook.
I was insinuating players right now.
Oh, okay.
So even though I said he's one of the best I've seen,
John Moran,
which is also true.
Listen, if we close this game out, that's huge.
If you win Game 3, it's over.
You were sweating like you really thought the Pacers had a chance.
Oh no, yeah.
The Pacers made it a competitive series, but they just don't have.
We just make runs at the right time.
Halliburton making 6 threes.
I could care less about 4-game sweeps that are competitive. I'll be honest.
Yeah. You over that?
Yeah, I don't really care. Like whether you get blown out or you make it competitive, you didn't win the game.
Halliburton has 28, 3-3 right now.
I need him to fumble.
He has like 2 points though in the third.
Oh, he's a first half.
The second half shit's brutal, bro.
Yeah, he had 26.
Dante has 32. Hart has 11 and 13.
I don't know if I've seen Dante miss from 3.
Brunson has 17.
Yeah, he had a rough fall.
Alec has 14 and 13 minutes.
He just carried.
No, we're doing our thing. Speaking about championships, because we talked about a lot of teams that probably don't got the potential to do that in these upcoming years.
Chicago.
Speaking on this year, we are now into the second round of the playoffs. We have gotten a feel for all these teams that have been in the dance. Who do you feel like is winning the championship? As of right now, this team you feel the best about. I think they're holding up that trophy at the end of the year. John, who do you think? Who do you think is going to be?
Denver? Right now, well, going the postseason,
Suns guy too, I thought.
Give it a rest. Going to this postseason, my finals pick was the Nuggets over the Celtics, but when they lose both games, the second of which in like pretty embarrassing fashion at home, all the Timberwolves have to do is win 1 game at home, and they're going to have to win 1 more after that. It's a very simple way for them to go to conference finals. And I look at this Minnesota defense. What they've done this postseason is more impressive than anything else. The level of post defense, to be able to limit Jokic in the ways that Naz Reid did, and even Slow-Mo's played better than I anticipated. A lot of New Jersey guys in this T-Wolves team, but their defense is one of the best I think we've all seen collectively. And with Anthony Edwards' shooting right now, how hot he's been, but how, I guess you could say assertive, but the way in which they're able to defend off the ball, guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Jaden McDaniels, it's a level of chemistry and I guess connectivity that you don't really see today. And even with Chris Finch being behind the bench, I would have to say the Timberwolves are number 1 for me. And number 2 would be Denver. If the Nuggets are able to come back down 2-0, we've seen this before.
The momentum would be there.
In the NBA, in the bubble, they've come back down from 2 separate 3-1 deficits multiple times. But my questions with them, just them around Jamal Murray with his calf injury and Jokic, both of them shooting 28% from three-point range.
What's your confidence in them? 1 to 10,
well,
most confident, 1 no
Game
confidence.
2 was embarrassing. Their defense was pathetic. I mean, the way in which that they didn't compete, and then Michael Malone and Jamal having their own outbursts.
Elite coach, man.
They don't really seem. I never said he was an elite coach.
No, I'm not saying you did.
Don't point at me with that.
Elite coach, man.
They say elite.
They don't really seem to have the same composure that they did last postseason.
Dehls.
We did it?
Stop this.
We said great.
Dehls. He can't do
We
this.
say great?
All right, great is a synonym.
Dehls.
No, you said no, because you said good coach, and we said great.
Exact thing.
You said he was
I don't know
top
why I
3 in the
pretend
league.
it's different things.
That's elite.
I don't. Did we? Maybe we did.
he's not
Maybe
a
I'm
great
bugging.
coach.
Okay,
Continue.
sorry.
Thank
I don't
you.
want to derail
You
this
don't think
conversation.
he's a great coach?
No, I never said that. He's a good coach. Very good.
Nobody
coach.
wants to debate coaches.
He's a Jokic merchant.
No. I mean, let's be fair now. He was the one who gave Nikola Jokic the keys to become a 3-time league MVP now.
Respect Mike Malone.
So,
Yes.
he's kind of the one who allowed this.
So what's the confidence level 1 to 10?
On the Nuggets coming back down 2-0 and win
Yeah,
championship?
you're doing a whole bunch of blah, blah,
Or
blah,
just-
blah,
or
blah.
just
What's
in
the
general?
confidence level?
Like a 3 out of 10.
Okay.
Because this Timberwolves defense looks like something. I mean,
Scares you, doesn't
they've
it?
turned the water off Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray like that. No other team has been able to. And their offense as well has been better than anticipated. Cat's playing better coming off. He's only like 7 or 8 games removed from his injury. So Minnesota number 1, Denver number 2, and I'll go with Boston number 3. And if the Knicks were healthy, I'd have them in that group, but there's nowhere close to that right now.
I just feel like for me, I like that you created a list, top 4. I like that. I think I have a list to you
Maybe
if Denver's
Dallas
able to come back.
over the Knicks.
I really think that the Timberwolves are going to win the championship. I think there's something special about this team. This is the best defense I've seen since 2008 Boston. And this is that type of defense. Their personnel, they can keep up with anybody. And I just feel like they've approached this postseason with more intensity and physicality than any other team. If they get past Denver, which is looking like they will, and they face OKC or Dallas in the Western Conference Finals, I think they'll beat both those teams. I think they're better than both those teams. So then it really comes down to the Timberwolves versus the Celtics in the finals, because that's who is favored to come out the East. And the Knicks are a little bit hobbled, but I do think we can give the Celtics a realistic fight. But right now I'll go with the Celtics because they're favored. I think the Timberwolves, even though the Celtics might have a little bit more talent, I think the Timberwolves don't mess around. The Celtics mess around. And we see that by last year, they went to 6 with the Hawks. They lost to the Heat in the ECF. They went to 7 with the Sixers. Those things should have never happened. This year, you lose game 2 against the Cavaliers where you just look disinterested. Jason Tatum's coming out with these quotes that don't shine him in the brightest light. I think the Timberwolves are just the most locked-in team in the league right now. And Anthony Edwards, I think, is special. He's a tier 1 superstar. He's averaging 32, 7, and 6 in the playoffs. He's playing elite defense. I don't think his defense gets as much light as it deserves because he's playing that good, and he's shooting 50% on pull-ups. I mean, he's the most
Who's your tier 1 guy?
efficient pull-up shooter.
Oh, God. They were arguing for 30
It's
minutes.
Jokic, it's Giannis, it's Luka, it's SGA up there.
Type shit.
I think Anthony Edwards is one of the superstars in the league. I don't care about his age. I know he's made this massive jump, but I think this jump is real. And Cat is also playing really well. His efficiency has been off the charts, but it always goes back to their defense. But don't overlook the offense because the offense is second in offense rating in the playoffs, and 7 players are scoring in double figures. It's Anthony Edwards, Cat, then it's Gobert, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid, McDaniels, and Mike Conley. This is a team that has awesome depth, and I think they're ready for any challenge in the postseason.
Do you know who's number 1 offensive rating?
It's probably the Celtics.
No, I'm generally asking. I don't think we are. Just because I thought they were number 1. And I can't think of really. Maybe it's Boston because, I mean, they did.
It's the Pacers. It's the
the
Pacers.
I was
Pacers?
thinking
Yes.
that, but they weren't shooting well enough.
Yeah, it's the Pacers. That's who's number 1.
Okay.
Just before we go on, I just want some clarity. Nothing wrong with it. Just want some clarity. You said you're picking the Celtics to go to the finals because they're favored.
Yes.
Do you? I don't want just Vegas's eyes. I want your opinion.
I think right now I got to go with the Celtics because of the injuries to the Knicks.
I think that's fair.
I think OG, his injury, Mitchell Robinson's
What injuries
injury
to
is
the
probably not
Celtics?
going to be back KP's probably gonna be back for the ECF.
1 versus 4.
God, listen, fingers crossed. That's not a foregone
And
conclusion.
listen, I know nobody has guarded Jalen Brunson.
No.
But I look at the
Today,
Celtics personnel:
they are.
Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jason Tatum,
They have
Jaylen
the
Brown.
They have the personnel.
It's gonna be really hard to compete with that when there's not a secondary creator on the team.
Hey, the way Josh Hart and Dante have been playing, bro.
Second creator,
I mean, yeah.
count on
Josh
that
Hart's
the way
more.
you would.
He's not really creator, but
Just, I
He's
would
an
love for the
all-star
Knicks to
caliber
go.
player.
I really would. I would love for the Knicks to go to the finals.
Devo is 35.
I really would.
yeah, he's
7
playing
9
on.
for 3
He's
today.
playing on real.
So he is playing like that number 2.
Who's
To
your
be fair,
Hold up.
it's
This is
Indiana's
better than any
defense.
playoff game Julius Randle's ever had in his entire career.
Josh Hart.
That was a
Oh,
weird- that was a weird
weird
shot.
comfortably.
To be
Maybe
fair,
he's more reliable.
it's Indiana's defense. Boston very well can
Atlanta's
1-1 man up.
defense shut down. I mean, Atlanta's defense shut down Julius Randle. They played well.
No,
in
I
that
was
run.
talking more about the Dante stuff.
Oh, you're fair.
Yeah,
Let the man be injured, man.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He's
Crazy
just-
shots.
he's-
He has
he's
not
just
played in mad
recovering.
long.
Hey, no.
He's just
I'm
throwing
not-
shots. He's just
I'm
kicking them whites
being
down.
real, man. I hope Randle get well soon, brother.
Show some
Come back
respect
well,
to the jersey
but
on the wall.
What has he done in the playoffs? That's all I was saying.
When he was Two-time All-NBA player.
When he was healthy.
The question: who's winning the championship? I think it's an unfair question. I think it's an unfair question because your mind can change every series. Like we know about our brother Joel, he tends to change his mind a lot. Or John. John is also another one
That's
that changes his mind a good amount, not a lot, but
No, that's
he has his
I had the
moments.
Timberwolves beat the Nuggets though. You had them too.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think, like I said, I think it can change because I think teams can look a lot different every other round. I think we can see a moment where, like, maybe, what if Boston, like, hypothetically speaking, Boston beats the Cavs, right? And then they go in and they wash New York if they're healthy. Like, now we have a different outlook on how Boston looks. Or what if Minnesota goes into the WCF, hypothetically, and they struggle against OKC or Dallas? Now we have a different outlook on the series. But, so it's the question is always based off how you feel at the moment. And at the moment, Minnesota looks like the best team in the playoffs. I think Boston definitely has their moments where, like that. I don't think they struggled against Miami. I think the problem with Boston is when you look at New York, right? Their team has been great, but who's been the guy? Jalen Brunson. He's been performing at an amazing level. You look at Minnesota. They've been on go, but also their top guy is playing at an amazing level. The reason why we have, OKC isn't as highly touted is because SGA isn't playing at the same level he was in the regular season. Dallas, Luka isn't playing at the same level he was playing in the regular season, So I think what it is for Boston is Tatum just hasn't had an Ant moment or a Jalen Brunson. He hasn't even had a Donovan Mitchell moment. He has yet to have. He hasn't even had a Kyrie moment. Honestly, like he has yet to have that.
He hasn't had a Derek White moment.
He hasn't had a moment at all.
He hasn't had a moment yet, and they haven't really needed it because they're just so dominant 1 through 6, and it's like they have this starting five that can just go out there and pummel you, and their star player not really do too much. So I think right now Minnesota just 1 through 8. They've been, like you mentioned, they've been locked in. The tenacity is there. The defensive personnel is there. For me, it's about how did their offense look against a defense like Boston. I think Phoenix defense, Denver's defense hasn't really been good. With Boston, I think their offense is inconsistent, but I think defensively they are a real legit problem. So I think that for that matchup, because I do believe Boston, because I had Minnesota beating Denver. I do think Minnesota and Boston are going to be in the finals. So I think it really comes down to like how do they match up well in those defense. I think whichever defense comes out and really shows out, that'd be it for me. But I think Minnesota would be 1 for me. I think number 2, it's tough because between Dallas and OKC, they split the 1-1. So if OKC ever stops playing Giddy, it's up. Like just permanently. Dallas. Luka started to get his groove in game 2, I don't know. That one's tough. I don't even want to say Denver. I can't put Denver 2. They've looked so bad against Minnesota, and they didn't look great against the Lakers for 3 quarters. So I can't even put them 2.
So who's your pick? You have your Boston Celtics right now?
What?
For number 2.
Who's your pick to win it?
Oh, win it? I don't know. I have Minnesota and Boston in it. I can't definitively
So you don't
somebody.
have OKC and Boston in it?
But in the finals?
Because you would have OKC beating Dallas, right?
Yeah, I have OKC and Minnesota in the WCF.
So you got Minnesota and OKC,
Yes.
and you got Minnesota winning that series.
Yes.
Okay.
That's been my WCF for like a week. Yeah, I have them in it.
Yeah, because last week you said OKC over Minnesota if they played in the WCF.
Yeah, changed my mind. Changed my mind for sure. After what they just did to Denver, fuck, no, baby.
I think with Minnesota, it's not just what they're doing; it's who they're doing it to. That's what I think is the most important. And I know you could be prisoner of the moment with certain things, but they are doing it against the best, and that's why I think it's so impressive, and it is making people really believe in what this team could do.
I don't even think it's being prisoner of the moment. I think we might have even said this off the podcast. Like, there's one thing being a prisoner of the moment and the recency bias coming into your head. It's another thing.
Halliburton.
Okay, that's a
He has
decent
30 right now.
That's a
Congrats.
decent
That's a recency bias, though.
But there's also a difference when a team is just dominating and a team is just playing excellent and they have the personnel. It's not like, you have a guy who was underachieving, was averaging 20 points per game, and you have a guy like Karl Anthony Towns who's like a borderline all-star and is a decent three-point shooter. Like, I'm saying, like, in this example where you have like good players who are playing great. You have great players who are playing exceptional. You have players like Anthony Edwards, who coming into this postseason was probably around a top 15 player in the league at 22, 23 years old. We knew that his upside was to be comfortably a top 10 player and possibly an MVP candidate. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that Anthony Edwards could go out there and play the way he's playing. Is he continue to be a top 5 most efficient shooter with the amount of shots he's taken, all of the offensive load? I'm not sure. But even if he falls off, even if he falls off a little bit, he's still playing at such a level. He has such confidence. I think I'm not sure which one of you mentioned it, but the physicality and the way they go into each game knowing like this feels like a game 7 for them. This feels like a do or die for them every single moment. That's what gets you championships. Because I agree with you guys. The Celtics, especially last season, played worth their food a fuck ton. And we've seen already in these two series that against the Heat, they hit 22, 23 threes. Okay, sometimes you're going to get hot. I didn't get too upset. The Cavs game yesterday was kind of like a 2023 Celtics moment where we're like, what the fuck are y'all doing, man?
You really thought y'all was playing with y'all food that game?
Last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Because
Defensively, yeah. Offensively, yeah. I really feel like y'all just were getting locked up.
They were embarrassing defensively too. Though.
Defensively, we're terrible. And when we're not playing good defense and they're hitting their shots and Donovan Mitchell starts hitting some crazy shots, the way that just the body language and how they play offensively also comes down. You also had Derek White coming back down to earth. I think he was like 1 for 7 from 3. Jaylen Brown struggled. Jason Tatum had a decent game, but not good enough if you're Jason Tatum. And ultimately, that's what it's going to rely on. But still, I think you can look at the Celtics team in two ways. It's number one, which I think everyone is looking at, and I think there's some fair arguments to it, is Jason Tatum is not that guy. Jason Tatum's just not a player that is going to be the 1A on a championship. Jason Tatum's just not a player that can lead you to a championship and be consistent enough. The other view and the optimistic view is, what if Jason Tatum just gets back to being Jason Tatum? And he's giving you that 27-28 on not elite efficiency, but good efficiency. And he's being a good defender and he's a good passer and a good playmaker and all the things that we know Jason Tatum can do while you have everyone else around him. If he could go back to just Jason Tatum level, I have all the confidence in the world the Celtics can win the championship. Minnesota's playing great. And I think defensively, they give the Celtics a ton of tough matchups because we know like we saw against Phoenix, like we're seeing against Denver, they have so much length inside, size, and physicality. For a jump shooting heavy team like Boston, you're probably going to see a lot of contested jumpers, and that's probably not going to go your way. But I think Tatum is playing so poorly right now that at some point something has to switch. I don't think we're legitimately going to see 12 to 15 games of Tatum shooting at like under 30% from 3, 40% from the field, barely scoring 20 to 25 points per game. I think at sometimes either just off of pure numbers wise, or number two, just saying, Tatum, we need this to happen. I think it's going to come back to the mean. So I still think the Boston Celtics can win this championship, especially once Porzingis comes back. I think it's very fair to have them and Minnesota 1A and 1B, because what they've done through 6 games of their playoff run has been by far and away the most impressive in the league.
Donovan instead of Jaylen Brown. He'd win it, man.
We're talking.
Yeah, he'd win it.
Listen, I get excited about Minnesota potentially winning because I feel like a lot of people on the team deserve it.
Oh yeah,
I think Rudy Gobert deserves it. Yeah, I mean they've been through the mud.
Jersey deserves it, man.
Cat deserves it. Cat's family gone through a lot.
Mike Conley is like the guy behind Chris Paul that I want to see. Like when it comes to point guards win a ring, like he's the guy of this era.
Yeah. Don't you think Al Horford deserves one?
He does too. You know, he's been playing for a long time.
Just with a different team.
Drew Holiday already got one. Can't really say nothing about him.
Yeah, Drew Holiday and Mike Conley are very similar in that sense, where they're the ultimate team player and they deserve a ring. But the other guy too is Rudy, because coming to this postseason, there's always that narrative based off the 2021, 2020, and 2022 collapses that he's a bad perimeter defender, which is not true. On those Utah teams, there's so many different leaks. It was basically Rudy Gobert has to get to the corner, but he's going to get up an open 3 or an open layup. He has to pick one of those two. And that was mainly because Royce O'Neal is that team's best perimeter defender, or Bojan Bogdanovic. Bojan today is in New York. He's not playing before he got hurt. Now he's hurt, obviously.
He's just not a good defender, though.
He's also
it says a lot in Utah. He was their second best defender.
He was guarding Kawhi.
Exactly, and he was their best option. And then on the other hand, with Minnesota, you have 3 to 4 awesome perimeter defenders and really good post defenders when Gobert is out the lineup as well. But the biggest thing is Gobert had that stigma built around him. He's been a good isolation defender in the perimeter for years, and he's showing that again this postseason. He's been a very good pick-and-roll defender because of the fact he can tag the roller and also defend a mid-range jumper as well, but it was just the personnel around him all those years. So seeing that, even my friends now talk about Gobert in this playoff run like he can't defend the perimeter. I'm like, guys, watch this series. There's a reason why they just swept Phoenix, and they're taking care of the Nuggets pretty comfortably. Gobert definitely deserves that recognition.
Yeah, Tim Connolly, he built the Nuggets. He drafted Jokic, Jamal Murray, and PJ, traded for Aaron Gordon. And then he built a team to stop him in Minnesota with the Twin Towers.
And no one saw it coming in Denver. When he drafted Nikola Jokic, the 46th overall pick, and a year ago at this time, what was the talk about Minnesota? How the Rudy Gobert trade was what actually sunk their chances of winning a championship.
What was the reason for Conley moving over from Denver to Minnesota?
I think just money.
Did
he get a bigger role?
He got a share of the team, but it was reported to be a lot bigger of a share than it actually was. But they gave him a small share.
And look at the D'Lo trade he made in Minnesota to get Conley. He traded D'Lo for Conley and Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker was perfect.
Yeah.
And I want to talk again more about this. The 2019 drafts, they move up. It might have been Gerson Rosas' first year as the GM. It was. Just hired a month before. He goes up and trades Cam Johnson and Dario Saric with the 6th overall pick. They take Jarrett Culver. A year later, they replace him with Anthony Edwards. But out of that same draft class...
I love Jarrett Culver.
Out of that same... I did not. Out of that same draft class...
Said he knows
I thought he was going to be good. No, I did.
I didn't see him projecting. That's a different story.
His jump shot was funky.
Badly. Out of that same draft class, which they used to take Jarrett Culver, they got Naz Reid as an undrafted free agent, and they got Nickeil Alexander-Walker via trade. Those two guys are the best duo off any team's bench right now in the postseason.
Shout out to Ryan Hammer. He made an excellent video about it.
Shout out to Pat McAfee.
Yeah, that was tough. Shout out to Ryan Hammer, man.
Yeah, because he did get a mention on Pat McAfee
that was
for the
nice.
video.
That was nuts.
That was tough.
Deserving though.
Yeah.
Deserves that
so shout out to Ryan Hammer for having a full video on it.
You know
That's
his brother?
Jersey, bro.
Do you guys follow his brother?
Ryan Hammer's brother?
Eric Hammer.
No, I don't.
Bro, he does like food. He lives in Hoboken, I think. He does like food reviews around it. I've been following him for a minite, and Ryan reposted him talking about my bro, and I was like, no fucking. They look just alike, but it just never connected.
It's like Drake May and Luke May. Like that happened to me as well. I never realized they were brothers, and they play at the same college.
Who the hell is Luke May?
I have no clue.
Luke May?
UNC.
UNC guy. He hit the game winner.
Shots in college basketball history.
Yeah.
Okay,
he
my bad.
actually hit one of the biggest shots ever.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I don't watch college basketball.
Hey, bro.
It was
that
everywhere,
shot,
though.
if you look it up after record, you'll say, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was the moment.
How old is Luke May?
Oh, he's gone.
He graduated in like 2018 probably.
Yeah, that was a minute ago.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It wasn't that long ago, though.
2018.
He's probably not even 30 yet.
6 years ago.
Yeah, he's like probably like, what, 27, 28 right
He
now?
was a 23, I think. I don't remember.
He graduated
No, when
in
he hit that,
2019.
he was a sophomore or something like that.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Brunson
He was
hurt himself
sophomore
again.
at that time.
Nah, yeah, but I think it would solidify Rudy Gobert's career. And I feel like...
He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
NBA championship.
I think he's already a Hall of Famer.
No, I think,
Depoys?
he's a Hall of Famer, but it would solidify him where you can't say nothing to him. He's a champion.
Yeah, it would basically kind of make his Hall of Fame case bulletproof, where you can't really discredit him.
Exactly.
That's the
They'll
biggest.
have like that Ben Wallace Hall of Fame. Like once Ben got his ring, it was like, yo.
And it gives Anthony Edwards a jump start to being top 20 all time.
Not wrong. He went to chip this year. I mean, sure.
Shit, yeah.
Like 22 with a ring with this type of run. Yeah.
Nah, that's exceptional. I don't know. I just have a feeling about Minnesota. I just
You
feel
should.
like Sunday.
They've been easy. Like it's not. There's not even a
There's
team
energy that they
close
haven't
to
had
second
before.
to them.
It's a lot like the Nuggets' energy last year. And if you don't mind talking about it a little bit more, the Nuggets in that 2022 postseason played the Warriors shorthanded. They took it to 5, and there was a lot of
took it to 5.
Well, they won
Never heard
nearly
that
2
before.
games.
That's
The series went to 5 games without Jokic having any support. Then in all season, they make a couple of moves, that in KCP and
Gotta
Bruce
get one.
Brown.
Come on. I always tell him, get one.
Come on, let me finish this.
So,
the
even
Nuggets-
DeMar got one. They took the
Nuggets-
Bucks to 5.
Tatum
Can I
got
say
one.
that? Sorry, all right. My
Brother,
fault,
you're
my
killing,
got one.
you're killing me.
My fault.
The Nuggets going to last postseason had more pressure on them than any other team because of how long we'd waited to see them fully healthy. Timberwolves last year took the Nuggets to 5 games from shorthanded without Naz Reid and Jaden McDaniels. This offseason, they didn't really make any moves. They had in Monte Morris. They had basically just Naz Reid and Jaden McDaniels coming back healthy. and they had a lot of pressure on them. Maybe the most pressure of any team this postseason because of how much money they're committing to their top 3 guys and the fact if they got knocked down round 1, they're going to break up the core, most likely trading Cat. And the same exact way the Nuggets last year responded to that level of pressure by dominating every single team on their path, sweeping the Lakers in round 1, and then beating the Suns in 6 games, but taking care of business. The Timberwolves are doing that again this year, and it's that same exact, I guess you could say, model, the same exact outline. 2 very unique contenders. You don't see centers in 2023 winning championships, and then Jokic did it. You don't see starting lineups with 2 centers today kind of dominating the postseason. Okay, it kind of goes against everything we've come to know the last 7 years, and yet the Nuggets and the T-Wolves are showing how many different blueprints you could have to build a contender.
Yeah, and we're going to see more teams have more size now. OKC's offseason is probably going to be about getting some big bodies down there for them.
Clax would be dope.
I don't even think they need a Claxton. They need someone like, it's going to sound bad, but like an Andre Drummond. Not Andre Drummond specifically, but someone, no. But Drummond off their bench would be good. Someone with the size.
You don't like
or Isaiah Hartenstein.
Hartenstein would be perfect, but someone with the size and low enough center of gravity to be a great rebounder.
You still need a big to start next to Shaq.
Well, that way Shaq can be more of a roamer opposed to your stand-up rim protector. And
but then he has to start.
Shaq at the 4, Shaq at the 5, you can do both. And I just think having someone that can kind of be the traditional, like even like a Steven Adams, let's say, 3 years ago, not now. That stand-up rim protector is what they need.
I don't know. Steve would be tough because SGA and J-Dub love the rim, and they love the mid-range area. And Steve, you don't really have to guard him.
Maybe a Miles Turner, but he's dropped off defensively quite a bit. But there's that type of big man. And Turner's not a good enough rebounder for what they need either, but either here nor there.
I've been kind of pissed off about how people are talking about Nikola Jokic now.
I feel you.
I think the first series where he goes down 0-2 against the Timberwolves, now we're discrediting his finals run. He wins a third MVP, and Shaq tells him that he thought SGA should have won it. Respect to Shaq for saying it to his face, but I feel like that was disrespectful.
That was
disrespectful. Jokic is an all-time great player in his league. He already has built up an all-time great resume, and I feel like to shoot him down is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I understand the argument for SGA. Listen, I think the MVP race was close, but at the end of the day, how are you going to use seeding for OKC? Oh, they were the first seed and Denver was the second seed when they finished with the exact same record. Yeah. They both won 57 games. It's not like OKC won 1 more game or 3 more. The seeding literally came down to a tiebreaker. So using that, he was the first seed versus the second seed. This is why he's MVP. No. Who had the most productive season? It was Nikola Jokic. Who had more injuries they had to endure? It was Nikola Jokic. The Denver Nuggets with Jamal Murray, he missed about 30 games this year. And nobody on OKC in a top 5 missed that many games. Jokic had to survive games without Jamal Murray. Like I said, they had the same exact record as OKC. The fact that we are now starting to discredit Nikola Jokic and what he's done because of a couple of playoff losses and because he won an MVP, I just think it's ridiculous just because you think somebody may have deserved it. Nikola Jokic doesn't deserve this type of talk. He's an all-time great.
I'm with you absolutely 100%. Last postseason was one of the most dominant runs we've ever seen. And coming in, people want to bash him at every chance they could have gotten. And a lot of it is comparison. That's the ultimate thief of joy. Embiid versus Jokic. Embiid versus Giannis versus Jokic. And it's funny to me. Jokic this postseason has struggled with turnovers in game 1. He's shooting 28% from three-point land. But coming to this postseason, he was up there with some of the greatest three-point shooters of all time in the postseason, making 41% of them. In this postseason series versus Minnesota, it's partially been Denver getting exposed, them not playing with as much energy or intensity. It's also tough, too, to go back to an NBA championship, and you can see that the last 5 NBA champs, none of them have went back to the conference finals. And the Nuggets last postseason cemented themselves as not only an NBA, obviously won NBA championship, but that entire team had a lot to prove, and that pressure created a diamond for all those players. And Jokic specifically, I think, established himself as a top 25 player to ever live. If he could add more All-NBA cases, he did that this year at the third MVP. And for the race itself, you're 100% right. The 3-man, I guess you say, race between Luka, Shea, and Jokic was incredibly tight. Luka had the most points. 34 a game is absurd. He was also a 5th seed and not in the same tier as Oklahoma City and Denver.
No did he.
My MVP was Nikola, but a large part of that was just the value, and basically the MVP award to me comes down to who was most essential to their team. And to me, that was Jokic. The Nuggets had a plus 24-point differential, whereas the Thunder had a plus 10-point differential without Shea. You compare those two teams' benches, it's night and day. Cason Wallace, Jalen Williams, Aaron Wiggins, and many other guys like Kenrich Williams versus Peyton Watson, Reggie Jackson,
Isaiah Joe,
and Christian.
Reggie still got a little wiggle to him.
Sorry,
You know?
I knew I was forgetting someone.
Yeah, Isaiah Joe.
There's so many of them. There's 5 guys. They go 10 people deep. With the Nuggets, Jamal Murray struggled this postseason, and Reggie Jackson's the one playing poorly. There's not a single guy on that bench you can really count on. Maybe Christian Brown. So Jokic was deserving of MVP. And I don't know why you're laughing. Did I say something crazy? Apparently I did, but I think Nikola Jokic getting dismissed as the MVP, the same exact thing we saw 2 years ago. And then he went on to win a championship a year later. It's simply ridiculous, bro. It's getting out of hand.
You said
What'd I say?
I think what he said.
Said
You went
10
10
guys
deep.
That's what you said.
I only
Why
laugh because
is it
Joel.
every time I say something remotely sensual, y'all turn to something that's not
Joel
sensual?
looked at Dehls. I'm just like,
Come on,
did he
bro.
say that?
Before the show, they were doing this too. I can't catch a break anytime.
Now
I
you
say
were saying some
something.
crazy shit. earlier.
10-man rotation.
10
They
men
go
deep.
10 guys.
10 men
deep.
deep is fake crazy. That is fake crazy.
That's too wild because you know exactly.
He
what
said,
I'm
he
saying.
said earlier.
Sometimes Mark Dagnall goes 10 guys deep.
Listen,
No,
shout out,
exactly.
shout out to the
You said
Joker.
Anthony Edwards. He's coming. He's
Yeah,
coming.
yeah.
I said, what?
Shout out to the Joker. 3 MVPs is crazy. Can you guys name the other 7 players who have 3 or more MVPs? There's 8 of them.
Michael Jordan,
Let's start with the players that won 3 in a row. Larry Bird,
Yes.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes.
Moses Malone.
Yes.
I've seen this list.
Now
Yeah.
we're at 4.
So then don't talk.
You said
Okay.
MJ, LeBron. He's
Yes.
got 4. It's 5.
Yes.
You said there's 7, so there's 2.
I don't know if I
There's
remember
eight.
all of
There's
them, but I remember Moses
There's
Malone.
3
Like, oh,
more.
shit.
And Moses
Larry
has 3.
Bird.
Larry has
Said
3.
Oh, I named it Larry already.
Okay.
So Moses is
I
at.
think.
There's 3 people tied with 3. Moses, you said, and Larry, you said.
Magic.
Magic also has 3.
Start at 6.
That's 8, 7, 6.
Kareem.
Kareem is at 1. He has 6.
You said LeBron.
Yes,
Oh,
LeBron
it's
is
funny
at
we ain't
4.
named
He has
guys
4.
the
Somebody is tied with him.
I want to say Bill Russell. But I don't
Shaq.
Bill Russell's at 3 with 5.
Okay.
Shaq is not at 3.
Right. I didn't know how
We
many
need one more, right?
You said everybody.
Oh, we said everybody.
So Kareem is at 1 with 6 MVPs.
Yeah, we should have gotten that.
Number 2
round.
is MJ with 5. Number 3 is Bill with 5. Number 4 is Braun, 4. Wilt also has 4. Then you got Magic, Larry, Moses with 3. So basically, this nobody has done this since the old guys. Like in the 2000 eras, 2010s, Steph was close. You know, LeBron. Oh, and of course LeBron did it. You know, but outside of that, Kobe's never done it. Tim's never done it. Dirk, KG, these guys have never done it. So Joker is putting himself in impressive, you know, high up comfortably.
Tim Duncan didn't even do it. He was 1 championship shy of Michael Jordan.
So I think most
Hate that for
importantly
Tim.
is that
Love Tim.
Yeah.
Nikola Jokic belongs in that list. He belongs with those
does.
names. He's not an outlier in that, like people would
No.
want to assume.
Where would you
Like,
rank
He
him?
belongs
Steve
there.
Nash, people will do that.
Actually, you.
Even then, it's not fair for Nash.
Where would you rank him?
He's not over Michael Jordan. He's not over LeBron James.
This is Jokic.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
could start his
I was
case
saying-
at
we
4.
could
He's not over
after,
Magic Johnson.
after Kareem.
He's not over Larry Bird. He's not over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's
Is he over
5
Steph?
right there.
Jokic,
Steph's not on this list.
when you say
Oh, my
Jokic
apologies. I thought he was just saying all time.
isn't over Larry Bird, do you mean that in greatness and legacy, or do you mean that in their
Everything.
individual play?
So
I
add
think
both.
about it's everything.
A
You know, I don't think
combination of all.
nobody's
Yes.
listing Jokic all time over Larry Bird.
No, because Larry
Larry's
Bird's a
top
greater
10.
player.
He's top 10.
But Jokic to me is if Larry Bird had gained 50 pounds and had strength and power that no one else could rival in the post. That's
Maybe Jokic is a better
they
version of Larry Bird. I think players now are better than
Of
before.
course. Naturally.
Undeniably.
Yeah.
But Larry,
Bird today would be a much more versatile player.
Larry would be just as great. I think Larry, if you just plug him in.
I think Shaq
Yeah,
is.
if
Was
he had
Shaq
the
was here, right?
advantages
Or
players.
he
Shaq was
wasn't?
not here.
He wasn't
No, I
here.
think he only has 2.
Yeah,
Moses
sounds right.
Malone. I think I'll put
Okay.
Jokic over Moses
No,
Malone.
Shaq has won, I'm pretty sure.
That's the one I
There's
put
one?
over. I put over some on the
2000
list.
And yeah, 2000.
I think Moses Malone is the one that comes
agree.
off the list
Okay.
for Jokic, or he's ahead of Moses
I
Malone.
love
He doesn't
Bill
come off.
Russell too, but I think Jokic might be the better player.
Probably.
Well, yeah, but like Jokic didn't make the impact Bill Russell had on his era.
On his area.
Bill
yeah.
Russell had
On
that
his
era in the
team?
chokehold. It was also different
debated.
though.
It was,
It's,
I
it's
mean,
a
there was
different
fucking,
game.
like
Of
a
course.
quarter of the teams.
Oh, Bill
Yeah.
Russell's one of the greatest defenders known to man.
Yeah, for sure.
No, yeah.
Just different NBA. It's
That's
hard
why,
to
like,
compare.
for like a greatness
Hard to
standpoint,
compare.
Bill Russell's still over. I think Jokic's over Moses Malone.
You got to
I
do
mean,
it relative to era.
Yeah, if we're talking about like who's better, like pound for pound, you know, Jokic might be top 4. I think Michael Jordan, LeBron James is over him. Kareem is
Yes.
probably over him.
Magic.
And then
I would have Jokic.
I'll
over
put
that's
Bird.
close.
I think Bird is a better
He's probably
player
top
Jokic's
five.
a
than
better
Magic.
player than Magic to me. But
I think Bird is a better player than Magic. So if you have him,
I
on
mean,
Magic,
he's
you
like
have
all
him.
time. He's probably around top 20.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's
yeah, that's what Jokic is. And I feel like, you know, people are quick to disrespect just because he's losing some playoff games. That's why I hope it doesn't come back to bite everybody that's disrespecting him because, like you said, they've come back from 3-1 deficits before
Back-to-back
twice
series.
in the same run. And I feel like
when they're
that's
a lot
why I agree
younger.
with you in regards to this championship conversation we had a little bit earlier. I think the winner of this series, Denver and Minnesota, wins a championship.
Yeah.
Because if Minnesota wins it, that means they just had one of the most impressive series wins. If Denver wins it, that means they're playing out of their minds.
It is just like Bucks Nets in 2021. Same exact thing to me.
Oh yeah, I get the same feeling from that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the MVP, like the hostility. I don't know what word.
Hostility, my brother.
Hostility.
Animosity.
Thank you. Animosity. Just for years, it's just been so weird, and
it's kind of pointless.
I'm never. I don't know, maybe because Tatum has never been in that top 3 conversation.
Never
been a player.
He's always top 5, though.
He's top 5, but that
never.
That,
top
first
3.
of all,
never winning it.
First of all, that was never my points.
Oh, my fault.
Never my points. I was
never winning it.
Oh my god!
You picked him for MVP this year.
Oh, did I?
You did.
You did, bro.
Did I?
You did.
You
1,000%. Because I heard you say, and I was like,
after
really?
Joel mentioned it, you laughed at him, and then you named him as Zero.
Yes.
I did.
People in the comments
like
like, what is he doing?
Yeah,
but ultimately, the case for Tatum winning is exactly what happened outside of him having an elite season.
Yeah.
Because we all knew that his team would be the best in the league. If he could match that, with an MVP season, he would have been MVP.
But the reason why I was going at that is because maybe it's because there's just not a player I truly have, like, I really care about Jokic. I really care about SJ. Like, none of these guys are like my favorite players in the league. Because typically when you have Jokic versus Embiid debates, it's always the 1,000 fanboys that love Jokic versus the 1,000 fanboys that love Embiid. So maybe I'm just not that entrenched or ever that type of fan that really cares that much, especially when it's this close. I think there's been some years where you have a player, I don't want to name anyone out, but you have historic seasons and they kind of get pushed up over guys who were either more successful or individually greater. This season, these were the 3 best players in the league. I don't think anyone else is really debating between SGA, Luka, and Nikola Jokic. These were the 3 best. I don't think that was really a debate. So whoever got it, though, was deserving. To have like a real strong opinion that one guy is just leaps and bounds better than the other, it feels like you're just digging in that cookie jar for something because that's your dude and you just really wanted to get it because there's no real like logical arguments you can make for any of these guys to be leaps and bounds better. And I think the other reason is because people just want to see something new. For Shaq's reference that he wanted SGA to win. SGA's never won. To be fair, he's really never been even close to this conversation outside of this season, although he was great last year. They want something new. Just like we saw Embiid win last year, although very deserving. Nikola Jokic got propped down throughout that season. That was the biggest talking point last year was Nikola Jokic or Embiid. And a lot of people's argument for Joel Embiid was, well, Nikola Jokic already won a couple. Or the other argument was Nikola Jokic isn't winning a championship, so he shouldn't get. He hasn't proved it. So I think that's another reason why people like Shaquille O'Neal are saying like I voted for SGA because you almost get bored with Nikola Jokic's greatness. You almost get bored seeing him do the just insane shit that will probably never see a dude of his size ever do again. Maybe Wemby can do it. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. But just to conclude, like all of these guys were deserving. But shout out to Jokic because he's going on a historic run. Like I said, I think he's top 20 of all time, and if he's able to get another ring, which still in the realm of possibility, I don't think Denver's door is closed by any means. I mean, we could really have a top 10 discussion about him. And
I feel as if with the MVP conversation now, like winning in the playoffs has been brought into it.
Yeah,
there's nothing. But with it,
I have the players. What is it that you have?
I wanted to know. Are you guys against? Because right now the awards are just regular season awards. Why aren't the postseason ever mattering to awards? The postseason matters the most for any arguments we ever had.
It's the finals MVP.
Matters. The only one thing matters in the postseason. That's a championship. But you're right though. I think it's supposed to verify someone who's already won winning again.
Because say for example, if the postseason mattered, would Anthony Edwards not be in this discussion? At the end of the year, at the end of the year, we just had this discussion. At the end of the year, say Ant wins a chip. You said he's over Luka. He's over SGA already. So why wouldn't he be in the MVP conversation? It's a
quarter of the regular season sample size, so now you're diluting the meaning of the regular season. Because like the regular season and the postseason are 2 separate things to where in the playoffs, that's where a player is going to have the opportunity to win a title. But let's say it's Jimmy Butler, right? Jimmy Butler in 2020 or
we just gave him an MVP.
But I don't think we would have gave Butler MVP
last year.
But if playoffs were being factored,
if he won a championship,
if he won a championship, we was giving him MVP because he played good for 3 weeks.
First team All NBA when he was quite clearly not one of the 5 best players that regular season.
I feel as if you're counting in the postseason, then the MVPs are going to change drastically. In 2019, Kawhi wins MVP. In 2019, Kawhi will win MVP.
See, that's what the Finals MVP is for because more than likely we're going to give MVP to the guy who probably the best player on the championship team. So that's why you get Finals MVP.
It seems deserving. You win a chip, you deserve it.
And now they adding all that ECF MVP shit and WCF.
Tatum got one.
To add one more thing to the point I made before,
Best thing on this hardware.
People get tired of MVP. I love Derrick Rose. A good example is when he won in between LeBron winning back-to-back in 2008 and 09,
that was an
or
historic
09,
year.
010, and then 12 and 13, because LeBron could have won 5 MVPs because he was the MVP in all 5 of those years.
D-Rose was the new shiny toy in the block. That was a historic year.
To be fair, D-Rose was a deserving MVP candidate.
Noah was out. Boozer was out. We were starting Kurt Thomas.
LeBron fanboys have tried to make it sound
Keith
like
Bogans.
he should have
You know who
won.
that is?
Yeah,
I do know Keith Bogans,
LeBron
shooting
was
guard.
most deserving, though.
He had a 3-ball.
Listen, I think he
averaged
was
3
better,
points a
but
game.
when you take into account the
Can he
supporting
shoot? I feel like
cast,
he had a 3-point badge on. Not 3,
That's
but like the
fair.
3-point
Derrick
next to his name.
Rose
on
Derrick
it.
Rose is doing what
You're right.
Jalen Brunson is doing now for
reasonable.
80 games. No troll.
But to me, like the Derrick Rose talking point, I don't know exactly what the Bulls offense ranked when he won MVP, but LeBron was just the quite clearly
Look it up
higher
real quick.
offense. Check that for me. He was quite clearly the higher offensive engine, and that's what it really does come down to.
what I was gonna say is that
he was much better
we've made playoff runs matter with MVPs for some reason when it came to Jokic, but ultimately it really doesn't, because
11th. First in defensive rating.
there's a short list
Makes
of
sense.
players that have won MVP and then have won a championship in the same year.
Yeah.
That is a
Jokic was
very
the first
short
time
list.
in like years and years, I
Yes.
want to say, right?
Like
Jokic
it
didn't-
just never happens
Yeah.
with the NFL. Patrick Mahomes was the first last year to cap it off, I think, in history.
Facts.
Or in a very
Yeah.
long time. It was in history, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so like it doesn't usually happen where an MVP caps off a playoff run with a
Steph
championship.
should have in 2015. But he
Yeah,
didn't win a Finals MVP.
2016. That's the one he should have. It's
Well, 2016 he was deserving Finals MVP, but
Yeah.
it went to Iggy instead. But that's really the only player you look at, but beyond LeBron and Jordan. That's
Wait,
it.
did I lie? No, I didn't lie.
it was 11th, or was it not?
No, Miami was third. That's what I was looking
Oh,
at.
okay.
Yeah, and Chicago was
11,
11. So
They also had Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
that's fair. No, you're right about that.
Now, I really do feel like Derrick Rose's case over the years has been undermined when like the team really wasn't all
wasn't
that
that
impressive, and he had no spacing to operate with.
No.
If he played with today's spacing, he's averaging 30.
We ran the same play. It's Derrick Rose gets it, pick and roll, and him do something magical. And Luol Deng was cool. He was cool.
He was good. He was a good player.
Great
Yeah,
defender.
for that Bull team to win 62 games, 4 shy of the Heat is
Tom Thibodeau, man.
I think the Heat won 66.
He's a
and
great
all.
coach.
Maybe I'm
He's
wrong.
a great
Nah,
coach.
the Bulls won 64. They went 62 and 20.
Yeah.
They went 62 and 20 that year.
Right.
Huh, John? You think he's a great coach, Tom Thibodeau?
We can have that conversation another day.
What was your
It'll be a
argument? It was
long
Tibbs,
one.
and who was the other coach?
But I've come back to warm up on Tibbs. I've been critical of him in the past while overlooking some of the strengths. But I think ultimately the reason why I'm so critical of Thibodeau is because of the fact he tends to overplay his players, but he's not the most adaptive or innovative offensive mind. But then again, he, as you've highlighted before the show, you're saying this, he's continuing to maximize the floor of teams to where I think he's had 47 wins in 7 of his 9 years as coach.
Yeah,
He said
he's
something
been-
along the lines of that. And I think Tibbs does not get enough credit because of the fact there are those old school, very stubborn mindsets that he may have, but that is part of what makes his teams in the regular season always maximize their talent level. And a prime example of that is the Knicks right now is Dante DiVincenzo. He's probably got 40 in this game. I've been overly critical of Tibbs in the past, and I can acknowledge
He's low
he's
key.
a very good coach.
He low key.
the Knicks can't play a regular game,
Yeah,
bro.
they
Like
can't.
it's just everything's just fucking insane.
No, it's crazy.
He low key makes players get better too, like sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, them losing this league is crazy.
I mean,
wish was
you
watching
the Bulls
closely.
won a playoff series with Nate Robinson being their best player.
You respect
Yeah,
us.
I think
Yeah.
a big thing too is the way he shut down Donovan Mitchell in last year's playoffs. Like that, a large part of that's coaching because R.J. Barrett and Quentin Grimes are the 2-point of attack.
We went to
defenders.
7. We went
So-
to war with the Nets, man. That was 7 games of gritty basketball.
So yeah, the tip stats you were talking about, 9 of 11 full seasons has 40 plus wins, and 7 of those is 47 plus wins. So yeah, over 50% of the time he's winning.
It's also I don't know what just happened, but honestly,
That was
it's
so-
also too he hasn't had a deep playoff run.
The Knicks just hit a 3 to tie.
that was,
It's 106,
his last one was
106.
with Chicago. They went to the ECF.
Right.
If people are watching this right now, or watching the ending of the Pacers and the Knicks game right now,
Brunson.
there's 31 seconds left. And perfect time
You're
because it's
ahead-
this
you're
week in the
ahead
of me.
NBA right
Facts.
now. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit ahead of you guys. Sorry.
I just see
You are.
the big 3.
Oh, we're gonna get a live reaction to the end of this.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, they got no time on the shot clock. I put it up.
Oh, that's an unbelievable shot, bro. That's
Was that
so
Nembhard?
fake. That was Nemhard. That's so
Oh,
fake.
good, because I saw Hallie miss. Couldn't have him.
Nemhard
Damn.
made a logo 3, bro.
Oh
no
my
way.
God.
I would
That's
hate that.
unbelievable.
Oh my God.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yo, he stepped back for it. Oh,
Nah, that was crazy.
Nemhard's
he hasn't
proud,
scored
yeah.
all game, I don't
Yeah,
think.
he had 0 points, 5 fouls.
Nemhard's A's.
That's enough. I would be
crazy.
sick. I'd be pissed off.
Nemhard was on that not UConn, Gonzaga team, right?
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, that was his first year there.
Yeah, he was a transfer.
So he is an
His
NCAA
brother's
champ.
all right.
Bro, I'm
I haven't
looking
seen him
at
play.
this box score. Dante has 35.
Nah, he's been going crazy, bro.
Josh Hart has 12 and 18. Brunson has 21.
I'll be honest, that's the loudest 12 points I've ever seen in my life because I felt like every time Josh Hart was getting a crazy bucket.
Alec has 14. Deuce has 10.
He was efficient, too.
For the Pacers, they're getting great games out of Siakam and Hallie. Siakam has 26 and 7.
He was in foul trouble early in this game, too.
How much Hallie has?
35, 4, and 6.
Ooh.
There you go.
There you go, Hallie.
Turner got 21.
9 in the second half.
Yeah.
And TJ McConnell got 6 points.
They win the game.
Yeah.
They win the
They're
game.
talking about that 35.
They will.
I get it. I'm hating.
He's always finding a way, man.
Shit.
Gotta get this hate
But
off,
listen,
man.
I don't blame you. I'm hoping he has his worst series against us.
Who?
I don't want it. Hallie, I don't want to see him be great against us.
Oh,
That would be a
too
thing.
upset about it.
Just game
That would
one
be
was a
something
pretty
you would
big
root for,
stinker.
though.
Game
would
two
be.
was he gonna give you 30. I can't complain too much. Second half a little crazy, but I can't complain too much. This game he's
too nice.
playing well.
He's a superstar. We got to treat him like a superstar.
I know, but he's young. It's his first playoff experience. You know what I mean?
I mean, Halliburton and Siakam, they are having A+ games.
No, there's no excuse for Siakam. He's been here.
Yeah.
He should be playing way better.
he's damn near 30.
and we can still win this game. We're only down 3. 16 seconds
When you
left
say
on the
we,
clock.
I keep forgetting, honestly, genuinely, my fault. I keep forgetting the Knicks fan.
You know, you're so disrespectful, Riv.
Like,
Riv, you
because-
gotta look at the Julius Randle jersey.
he's back.
Do you have any other Knicks jerseys?
Riv is so disrespectful
Like Randle's
because
stay crazy.
the
A little bit.
the origins of the show started with Knicks and Bulls debates.
You've had your up and downs with him.
No, I have not.
Yeah.
There have been times where I've been more down.
For sure.
He's more of a Nick fan than Drew. I don't know why you guys say it's Drew.
We
It's
like
more
to
of a
troll
Nick
it.
fan. I get that. But it's like Drew's guy is RJ Barrett and he got traded. He can't
Nuts.
really be a Nick fan no more.
All right, Pacers hit their free throws. They'll win this game.
RJ Barrett at a point in time I thought was going to be good. We used to have RJ Barrett debates.
And then we did it, man.
He wasn't-
Remember we were having those debate when we had Through the Wire, who was Through the Wire at the time, shots and numbers on the board. We were arguing RJ Barrett, and you said something about jersey sales.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, we making the argument. He's like, he's top 5 in jersey sales.
I was like, he's a star.
So funny, bro.
That was actually a dog shit shot, Brunson.
Yeah, he fucking baited for that.
Yeah, like he wanted the foul so bad.
this week?
This week in the NBA, mine was ironically about Pascal Siakam. Since game 2 of the first round, he's averaging 16 and 7 with 4 assists, shooting 15% from 3 and 37% from the line. In that same time frame, Halliburton has been up and down, but he's been more up, averaging 19, 5, and 9, 45% from the field, 35% from the 3, 91% from the free throw line. You know, I think a lot of jokes are made about Hallie in regards to TJ McConnell, but Obi Toppin in the same time frame since game 2 has averaged 16 and 5 on 59-40 splits in 20 minutes per game. He has been matching Siakam's production, and ironically, this game that the Pacers just won, Siakam had a great game and was a big reason why they won. And honestly, that's what they need from Tyrese and Siakam moving forward. They need them to be at their best. And I like that Hallie's being more aggressive, but I hate it for the fact that he's facing the Knicks.
Yeah, Obi's been tough. My this week in the NBA is a would you rather.
Let's do it.
So, would you rather the Villanova boys? So we got Brunson, we got Hart, we got Dante DiVincenzo.
So this
my
is
brother in
trios,
Christ.
First of all,
Yes.
great idea, Riv. 100%.
Appreciate you. Shout out to Dante. Everybody knows how I feel about Dante. Love him to death. That's really my brother. First team up. I wish Drew was here for this. Zion, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy.
That's a good start.
I wish my brother was here. You know, he loves his trio over there
That's
in New
a great
Orleans.
introduction. Well
Yeah,
done.
you got to cook up something.
I'm going with the Nova boys.
I'm also going with Nova Boys. You have the best player out of all three. And
Listen, Pelicans trio's young.
It's young. You got I mean, the Knicks defenders are good too.
Yeah.
But you got some top level defenders
man.
over
Some
there
long
too.
This
ones.
is perfect.
Long, lanky, beefy,
Wingspan everywhere.
length, girth.
Yep.
Dude,
Yep.
it's basically
We're here.
It's Herbert Jones versus Josh Hart and Dante versus Trey Murphy.
I mean, Jalen Brunson and Zion don't cancel out. No disrespect to Zion.
Brunson's a slight.
He's-
What he's done, what he's proven in
Brother.
the postseason, he's a clear half a tier above.
Trade potential is there,
a
though.
tier above, one could say.
He's a tier
Dante,
above.
I'll go with Dante right
I think
now, though.
Dante's defined,
Yeah.
though. I think
Yes.
he's
I'm
what
going
he
to go
is.
with the Knicks because I'd rather have Brunson over Zion. What it comes down
You
to.
say Knicks, too?
Yeah, I'm going with the Nova boys.
I love that. I love that. Stick to your guns. Next up, them boys over there in Orlando. Boncaro, Wagner, Jalen Suggs.
It's the Knicks. Yeah.
I'm going with the Nova boys.
Yeah.
Right now, surely the Knicks.
A few years from now, Paulo, maybe he could. I think
Brother,
he will
I'll
turn
give
into
it
a
to
one.
him.
Maybe up in 2026.
Franz-
Boncaro is
Might
on the way.
have-
Franz is
might
kind of
have
the
been
wild
better.
card.
If
Franz-
it's the shooting. If it's the shooting.
If he can make a shot.
If he
Because,
can-
you
if he
have
can get
size there,
Hart
you have
streaky,
upside.
we're here.
Yes. But, I mean, he could be better than Josh Hart.
Yeah. Them boys over there in Miami. Jimmy, Bam, Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero really.
I'm going with the Knicks.
It's the Knicks.
Okay. Miami had their time.
Jimmy Bam Hame. Let's add that.
Okay, I like that more.
Jimmy Bam
I think
and
putting
Hame.
Bam here is a little bit OP.
Bam is one of them dudes, man. I love Bam.
Because if I'm ranking
good
this,
to
No, it is. They got 2 All-Stars with that.
Because
John, we've been here.
Miami has 2 of the top 3
here,
players out of all 6 of these.
Yes.
So-
They have Bam and they have
Yes.
Jimmy. Brunson's 1, but then it's
They have
Jimmy Bam.
They have 2 and 3.
And I like Jaime, like
Yeah.
Dante out.
I would put Hero in. Like, if it's Bam, Jimmy,
I'm
and
putting
Hame,
I'm putting
going
Hame.
Miami.
I'm putting Hame. I'm taking Hero
Hame
out. I
and Hero?
apologize. So we're going
No.
Jimmy Bam Hame.
Oh, if it's Jimmy Bam and Hame, I have to go Miami.
That's
I
tough.
think, dude, Bam. It's basically Bam versus Josh.
Yeah, don't forget the
No,
chemistry
I was
them
thinking.
boys have in
I
Villanova.
was thinking,
said
what's the
Villanova. In
difference
New York.
between Jimmy Butler and Brunson? How big is that gap?
in the
It's a
playoffs?
smaller gap. Jimmy wasn't
think
healthy.
that's
this
fair.
postseason.
Jalen Brunson's a better player right now.
Yes.
The Villanova
But how-
trio's chemistry is
how much?
If I get the
unmatched.
chemistry with them
They're in
too,
the
same tier. You're
okay,
getting the
give me
chemistry.
Nova boys then. Give me Nova boys.
I'm going with the Knicks.
Y'all are sleeping on Bam Adebayo, man.
No,
This is crazy.
trust me, I'm not.
He can't.
You are.
He actually wants him in Boston
Trust
bad.
me,
I
I've
forgot.
watched this man play 7 games damn near every year.
Yeah. You know the truth.
Next team up, Trey, DeJounte, Jalen Johnson.
New York
The Knicks. That sounds like an ugly fit.
I just have to add, 3 best guys. Next team up, this one's for you, my brother in Christ.
Oh, no.
Tyrese Halliburton,
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere else.
Pascal Siakam, and Miles Turner.
I'm going with the Knicks. I'm going with the
Knicks.
You
Knicks.
thought I was going to say Minnesota?
Yeah, I did.
No shot.
So far,
it should be easily Minnesota.
So far, Brunson's been the best player in, I believe, all of these situations.
Yes. I
Yes.
can't tell if y'all are basing your judgment based off of the chemistry or the better
Both.
trio combination.
but the chemistry
of the
makes
two.
them just better than.
But again, you're getting the best player in
Yeah.
all of these.
this is the one that's really gonna
I would take New York.
might
over
grind
Heat.
your gears. Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal. Who are you taking?
It's the Knicks continuity.
This is gonna
It's the
sound,
Knicks continuity.
this is going to sound absolutely insane, but they won more regular season games, and I'd rather have the Knicks trio just right now in a vacuum.
Yeah,
over Heat.
talent-wise,
They're more-
And a
talent-wise,
vacuum's
the
a
Suns.
pretty hot take.
Again, this is situation.
Low. Bradley Beal brings them so.
Because
much
if you
better.
if,
He's not better
if
than
the
Dante.
Suns had Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson,
Yeah. Okay. No.
so
that's
you'd rather have the Suns
he's
with
not.
Mitchell Robinson and
Cast.
Hartenstein than the
We
Knicks.
gotta-
the Knicks supporting cast is going to elevate them, but the reason why is that the Knicks trio complements each other far better.
Oh, no,
than
it does.
The Suns trio.
Yeah, at
unfortunately.
talent, bar for bar, it's probably the Suns, but
quite clearly.
t-
The
players
Suns.
that are going to
In terms of skill
complement each
level,
other, yeah.
Yeah, skill level not even close.
Is Jalen Brunson the best out of this group too?
Best player? Yes,
It's not crazy.
I think so.
It's not crazy.
No,
He's
he's talking
jumping over
himself.
Book.
He's
KD.
talking himself into
He's
serious
jumping over
conversation.
KD, John.
I was making a top 10, top 25 list earlier. this
Jalen
last
Brunson was
week.
top 10.
Jalen Brunson was in my top
Where's
10.
KD?
Where was Anthony
KD is
Edwards?
dropping out.
Kevin
Top 10?
Durant was not in my top 10.
Where was Anthony Edwards?
Anthony Edwards was also in the top 10.
Top 5?
was-
Close to the top 5?
Where's
or no?
Embiid?
Embiid was he moved up a lot. for
Where's
me.
Steph?
Steph is 6.
Where's
We're
Tatum?
cool. I'm going with that.
Tatum?
14?
Tatum is 7 actually, but I was like Tatum and Brunson are hard to kind of rank against one another.
I think Tatum's better.
I just don't feel like Tatum's.
What's your list?
I think Brunson's more.
my
I
list? My list ain't finalized, but I can
John's
do it.
top 10 early.
think Brunson's more
Subject to change.
vicious.
Subject to
Give me
change
your
is
rough
right.
draft for it.
So my rough draft, my top 10, with honorable mentions to AD, KD, and Kawhi, who's impossible to rank. 10, Devin Booker. 9, Anthony Edwards. 8, Jalen Brunson. 7, Jason Tatum. 6.
Don't you dare put that man over himself.
6, no, not yet. 6, Steph Curry. 5, Shea. 4, Giannis. Embiid moved up from 11 to 3.
Damn!
Luka 2, and number 1 Jokic.
He moved from 11 to 3
So
Here's
he's
the
over
truth.
Giannis.
I was
because of a first round loss.
I was way too critical of Embiid.
Okay,
Last
that's fair.
post-
Oh,
After
this is,
last
you're
postseason-
making
You're
up
making up,
plus.
you're making
That's
up.
fair.
After last, well, I'm not doing that to make up as much as it was, but last
He was definitely
postseason,
top 10 last year.
I had Kawhi, KD, and LeBron all over him last postseason. I think
Kawhi's
this year
nuts.
Kawhi over him last year was fair. I mean, he averaged 35 points in those 2 playoff games. I mean, come on now.
He played one game.
He played 2 playoff games.
I'm
last
sorry, he
year.
played 2 games.
and those games are incredible. After a very
Those games, you're right.
a very
Joel Embiid
very
defensively
damn
though last playoffs was amazing.
Yeah, but offensively,
I know, yeah, I know.
So last postseason, I was critical of him,
Mm.
but his range was like 7, or maybe to me it was like 6 to 12.
Yeah.
I had AD over him as well after last
Okay.
postseason, but I watched him in this playoff series where he wasn't healthy versus a very damn good Knicks team, and I was saying to myself, he is starting to in the regular season fill up a lot of the shortcomings in his game, the conditioning early in the season, the playmaking and feel for the game, the shot making as well. All of those things which held him back in the postseason became big levels of improvement, and that's why I felt
I want to
comfortable
say
putting him
this: you had D Book at 10. I
Yeah.
think end of the playoffs. I think I'd put Devin. I'll put Donovan and AD over D Book.
I had AD and Booker in the same exact
I think Donovan
spot.
Mitchell has had back-to-back regular seasons better than him. Last year, he did not have a better playoffs, but I think this year, going against the Magic's defense, Boston's defense, the way he has been playing, and the way Devin Booker looked against Minnesota's defense, which I do think it's the best.
His game 4, I felt like made up for his game 1.
I understand, but Mitchell had 89 points in 2 games.
No, you're right.
Yeah, so I think that's what I'm saying. By the end of the playoffs, which I think he'll continue to play great against Boston, I'd put them 2 over Devin Booker. But I'm not done with my list.
Okay.
Number 7, John. This is where we might get fucked here. D. Mitch, DG, and Mobley.
It's pulling out
going with the Knicks.
It's going with the Knicks.
Going with.
It's
It's
okay,
tough
bro.
because
We'll get back.
Garland,
We'll get
after
back.
breaking his jaw, has not been the same player.
I'm trying to tell him he broke his jaw.
He just doesn't look to
Lost his
play.
grandma, too. That hurts.
Rest in
That would
peace.
hurt me,
Rest
too.
in peace. Garland's just kind of playing a little bit too afraid, honestly.
He finally had a good game yesterday.
He also took
he had
like
14,
8
right?
shots.
Listen, bro.
I want him to take more than that.
I do, too, but we
Forget the 10.
got to work.
I would take. Oh man, I wish you said Jared Allen, because then I'd definitely take the Cavs. But
Hey, Mobley was great last game.
He was really good.
a lot of that.
But I think it's more because of
was
Garland, not
the
Evan.
Celtics defense.
Can you
No, I'm
believe?
talking
not
him defensively.
Can you believe
yeah.
that Bleacher Report sent out a notification for Josh Hart subbing out of the game?
Yeah, that killed me.
I'm gonna go with the
Let's go with the Knicks, brother.
Cavaliers
get
or
back.
Knicks. I'll go with the Cavs for now.
Oh, shit. All right.
I don't know.
And then
I
the
don't know.
last team, which I think this one is really interesting, Ja, Bane, and Jaren Jackson Jr.
I'm going Memphis over New York.
I'm going with the Grizzlies. Yeah.
That trio is special.
I'm going with the Grizzlies
That
too.
is-
We're
I'm going.
here.
Desmond
We're
Bane.
still here.
Desmond
That's all the
Bane's the
names I have.
perfect player to put alongside Ja, and Jaren is a bit underrated right now.
That was all I have.
Yeah. That was a good, very good. Would you rather? Good shit.
I told you guys this earlier, but I want to say it on the show. It really pissed me off that Draymond Green compared the Knicks to the Hawks. He compared the Knicks to the 21 Hawks, and he compared the Knicks to the 2019 Blazers. I don't think the Knicks and those teams have anything in common. New York, since Tom Thibodeau has come in and been the head coach, and Leon Rose has come in and taken over the team, we have been a great organization, and we have developed a winning formula. The Knicks are not winning by accident. And I feel like people are looking at this playoff run and they're calling it a fluke because they don't value teams in the East. They don't think they're that good. Right. But ultimately, since Thibodeau has been the coach of the Knicks, we made the playoffs also in the first round. Missed the playoffs the second year. His third year, we made it to the second round. And this year, we're probably going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's been a linear development, and Tom Thibodeau's a winning coach. In 9 of his 11 full seasons, 40-plus wins. 7 of those are 47 wins or more. And the Knicks have the best role players in the league. We have a superstar in Jalen Brunson who is putting godly numbers up in the playoffs. You know, this team, maybe it's not going to win a championship, but they're by no means a fluke, and they're not here by accident, and we're just not going to fall off like the Hawks did after they made the ECF.
Yeah. The Draymond show is dumb as hell because they're missing 3 of their 5 starters right now. I mean, you can't compare them to the Blazers who are fully healthy and everything come together. The Knicks have went on this run while missing half of their rotation, and that is something where if they're healthy next postseason, they're probably going to continue on that upward trajectory, and it's like they're the most unhealthy team. And a part of the season where the healthiest teams are going to go the furthest.
And they're going to be healthier, but they'll also probably be better. I mean, I think the number one rumor around the league is the Knicks are looking to get another possibly guard. We've heard about Donovan Mitchell. We've heard about Devin Booker to pair in that backcourt because Julius Randle, listen, if you had Julius Randle on this team, I definitely think that gives you another aspect, especially when you're going up against the top teams to have that secondary creator. Yeah. But I also think there's a lot of players out there that are better fit than Julius Randle that could come in that you could possibly move them off. You have a ton of draft picks. You have movable contracts to make an upgrade to this team because I think it's unfair to call you guys the Hawks because the way you've built this team. You have guys on that you've drafted like Deuce McBride who are on great contracts. You've gotten guys in free agency like Dante DiVincenzo on a great deal. You traded for a guy like Josh Hart and of course signed Jalen Brunson. You've done everything. I think Riv made a great point that not everything has to be a needle mover, but you make enough moves that are almost needle movers. This is kind of what you see because I think originally when they signed Jalen Brunson, that was kind of everyone's takeaway was that Jalen Brunson is probably not going to be a needle mover, and they had varying opinions on what Brunson was. I know you thought he could be like an all-star level player. I don't know if you ever thought he'd get to this good where we're having
this good.
This good is
The
crazy.
Knicks did not think you would get here.
But you make enough moves like Josh Hart. Maybe I could see it. Dante on $11 million a year.
maybe.
Okay, I could see that. But enough of those little moves come together, and this is the team you see now.
And then Hartenstein as well.
Yeah, the thing with Atlanta too is they just drafted awful, like DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, Onyeka. Unfortunately, they had never gave him the room to really develop. Like Jalen Johnson was a good pick. Now, like it took him some time.
Him and Sharif, that was their one good.
Yeah, but like Sharif was, what was he? They got him in second round.
Yeah, it's like
40s, they did. 50s. Atlanta has not been good drafting. They have not been good picking coaches. So and they've not been good acquiring talent. So it's like they're just all the way just ass.
And since they made the ECF, they've been out in the first round 2 times and they missed the playoffs. And the last 2 times they've been in the playoffs, they've been a play-in team and they barely got in. The Knicks are not barely getting into the playoffs. Like we're one of the best teams in the East.
In the regular season, you guys are cooked.
Yeah, and I don't see how we're gonna just fall off and be like a play-in team, and especially with this core.
Atlanta's also cheap. Like they moved off Kevin Huerter because they don't want to pay him. They don't want to get into luxury taxes and everything. It's going to be incredibly difficult, almost impossible, to win a championship level team and be in a cheap organization.
No, yeah, it's just not doable. Speaking about Jalen Brunson, we have this question here: who's the best 6'3" and under guard in the league
right now?
So I think the top 3, and we can pick our winner after I mention it. The top 3 is Steph Curry, Jalen Brunson, and Donovan Mitchell. Those are the 3 best guards, 6'3" and under. But then you have other players in here that I want to mention just because this is the pool of players. Trae Young, De'Aaron Fox, Dame, Tyrese Maxey, and then we get into the other tiers. Kyrie Irving, exactly.
You were going to say CJ.
Yeah, again. Kyrie Irving. Then the other tier of players are players like CJ, Sexton, Van Vliet, Garland, D'Lo, Conley, Rozier, quickly.
Jamal Murray?
Jamal Murray 6'4".
He is.
Okay, I thought he was 6'3".
No, he's
6'4". He does not look 6'4".
Does not look at all.
Maybe it's just
I think I said somebody else. It messed me up. I thought he was 6'4".
I saw that on Google. I just don't believe that's true. Yeah. I think he's wearing some insults.
Going with official heights, my brother in Christ.
I don't know.
Yeah, because they say De'Aaron Fox is 6'3", and I don't think he's 6'3". I thought he was 6'4".
So do you want to do
6'4"?
Top 5?
Maybe.
We can do a top 5. For
it.
me, I think Jalen Brunson's number 1. He's number 1 right now.
Let's start 5 to 1.
Yeah, let's start.
Starting off number 5 with the season he's had, Kyrie Irving. Number 5 to me quite clearly. Number 4, I'm going to lean Trae Young. This is a 3A, 3B. Donovan Mitchell's a tick above him at 3. That's his mix.
So you're having Trae Young over Kyrie Irving?
Yes.
Where's Fox?
Fox is outside for me.
Fox is
a year ago,
mention.
Fox would have been inside over Kyrie. Yeah.
Listen, I think that's fair. Kyrie in my initial list, he wasn't on here. I had Fox. I forgot about Kyrie. But Kyrie, I'd put over De'Aaron Fox. I think as a complimentary player, I'll put Kyrie over De'Aaron Fox.
A lot more.
First, Trae Young. Then I think it's Donovan Mitchell, Steph Curry, and Brunson. That's my 3 to 1.
Donovan, Steph, Brunson.
I think that's my top 5 too. I think I would still give the edge to Steph over Brunson for right now.
That's very fine.
I think I need to see, we talked about this with Ant Edwards, I need to see the dust settle with Brunson. I need to see where everything falls at the end of this season, because to put him over Steph Curry, he had a great regular season. If Brunson wasn't dropping like MJ numbers in the playoffs, he was just being Brunson averaging 30, would we put him over Steph Curry like this? I think Curry's still better than him.
I would go Kai at 5, Trae at 4. I'll go D. Mitch at 3. I'll go Brunson 2. I'll go Steph at 1.
I feel like with Steph, it's just the second half of the year. He averaged 22 a game, I believe.
Right.
The efficiency
was
was
in a
down.
really tough spot, man.
You know what? Mine's going to be Kyrie 5, Trae 4, Donovan 3, Steph 2, and Brunson 1, because moving forward, I'm expecting Brunson to be the better player.
Because I just think Brunson can handle the load that the Knicks are
He can raise an offense's floor more.
He could handle the whole load.
Yeah, he can play 40 minutes in a playoff.
I think he can handle the load, but I also think his teammates are better.
No, there's no doubt. The Knicks are better than the Warriors.
But right now, the Knicks.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all.
I don't know.
Yeah,
now,
they also have their starting 5 out there for like 44 minutes a night, so.
Can't do that over here, buddy.
I kind of expanded this list past number 5. So number 6, I'd have De'Aaron Fox. Number 7, I'd have Dame.
Yeah.
Would you guys have it in that same order? You think Dame is over Fox?
I'd have Dame
fucking Dame.
and Fox right next to each other.
I think I would have Dame over Fox.
I'm going to put Dame over Fox.
He wasn't healthy this season, but he played very well in that playoff series, which was only 3 games.
For halves, yeah.
Yeah, for halves. I would go Dame at 6, yeah.
Number 8 for me is Tyrese Maxey. I feel like this is locked in. Yeah. And 9 and 10,
Maxey
it
over
could be
Fox
debatable.
Maxey.
I think Fox is better than Maxey.
I don't think it's crazy. Okay. I think at the end of next year, Maxey could sneak into the top 5.
Maxey is more malleable piece as your number 2, that's for sure.
What?
He could be better than Trae Young.
Ooh. Okay.
As a lead initiator.
As a lead guard?
I don't agree with that, but as number 2, yeah.
I think he could be.
as a lead guard.
We won't see it because they have Embiid.
I just don't think he has the playmaking. Like the playmaking gap is just too wide.
Maxi's a short.
I think he's a more efficient. No, it's the playmaking gap. Like it's nowhere. Maxey would never get to that level.
But Maxi's continuing to close that gap from a below average to a pretty much above average playmaker.
Trae Young is like top 5 in the league as a playmaker. So what gap are you talking about?
I think Maxi's continuing to get better and better as a passer.
Oh yeah,
this is his first year really unleashed.
I think he'll end up peaking out like as a really good passer.
Yeah.
I think he always have that 2-guard niche in him, though.
Number 9 and 10, we could do would you rather's here. Anthony Simons or CJ McCollum?
Darius Garland is better than CJ McCollum.
Is he better than Anthony Simons?
That's a conversation.
Garland moving forward over Simons.
I would take Simons over both.
Okay.
I would take Simons next up too at 9.
After this year, I understand why you're saying that.
DG's.
He broke his jaw.
Talk to me again
please,
in a year.
Please.
Talk to me again in a year.
After this year, I understand why you say it.
Yeah.
I understand.
Anthony Simons is really good.
I understand why you say it.
I would love to see Simons possibly on Orlando. I like to see him go to like a situation where he could really shine.
We need him on a good team.
Exactly.
And they were Simons' numbers could have been so much better if they weren't trying to integrate Scoot either.
Yeah, with Shaden too.
If Simons just had the green light, this is your offense.
Yeah. There are too many guards in Portland.
Yeah, there are.
In Orlando, there's not enough shot creators in the backcourt.
So. Perfect.
And they had Malcolm Brogdon, too.
As long as we agree Garland's better than CJ McCollum, I'm fine.
I would take Garland over CJ.
So number 10, it's Garland or CJ.
Garland.
Oh, you're going to go Garland. What about
please.
Garland and Emmanuel quickly? Is that an argument or no?
I would take Garland.
He's falling off that bad. Like, what are you doing here?
Garland or Fred VanVleet?
Garland.
VanVleet had a very good year, but Garland. Come on.
Garland or Mike Conley?
It's like he played ball this year. Is this his rookie year or
What do
something?
you mean? Don't respect Mike Conley.
Enough of this shit.
I
respect Mike Conley.
Respect Mike Conley,
Is
the
2016 Conley or 2024?
They acting like this is Garland rookie year. He just, come on, what are we doing, man?
Give me a break, please.
I was shocked to see that Colin Sexton is up there in PER.
He played
had
great.
A very efficient.
He averaged 19,
Yeah.
3 and 5. Is there a
played great
conversation with him or Garland, or are you going with Garland?
I would go with Garland personally.
D'Lo or Garland?
Next topic.
That's it. So none of these are conversations.
Next topic.
Garland's just better than all these guys.
D'Lo put up 18 and 6 on pretty good efficiency in the regular season. And it's not like does Garland have this postseason resume? Like, listen, I know D'Lo doesn't, but Garland doesn't either.
Listen, I know with Garland
right now coming off that broken jaw is a better player.
Garland, the upside, like, of course, I take the idea of him more, but I'm saying like right now as a player for player, you don't think it's a conversation?
He was literally back-to-back years of an all-star.
You don't think it's a conversation between CJ McCollum and Garland?
Hold on, you said idea. What do you mean the idea?
Who's better right now, Garland or McCollum?
Oh my! CJ had a better year. Garland's year was banged up.
I don't like this conversation. I don't like where it's going.
They're acting like this.
I want this conversation.
They're acting like he was good 10 years ago.
Move forward.
No, I mean we're going year by year.
He was
basis.
just an all-star last year, bro.
No, he was really good.
And then he broke his jaw.
I'm not saying
it's
he's
like you're
bad.
ignoring that context.
No, all I think is that you moved off of him very easily.
I think he's a better player than D'Angelo Russell.
I mean,
okay.
Do you think
the
otherwise?
fact you'd entertain that.
They both don't get defense.
He's a much better
It's
playmaker.
really disappointing.
Okay.
Much better playmaker.
That's all I'll say.
D'Lo's a better shooter though.
Is he?
No.
Yes.
No.
He's more efficient shooter.
No.
What? Okay, all right. You know what? I can't.
He's not the
this.
more efficient
This shit is
shooter.
insane.
Enough of this shit.
Is that wrong? Is that incorrect?
I think
it is.
I'm not gonna lie. I
close,
think
but
it
no.
is.
It is close to him, but no.
I think D'Lo's efficiency is better. Like you're gonna look at the percentages, it's gonna be better. From 3, it's better.
This year,
36
he
for
shot
his career.
41, but I think for his career it's 37.
It's 36 actually.
I don't want to have this D'Lo discussion.
What did he with LA? What is he shot though?
Like 39 probably.
Garland's is 38 for his career.
Okay, D'Lo this year shot 41% from 3.
Last year,
the last 2
36.
years he shot 41% from 3.
Yeah, it's.
Oh.
And then in Minnesota's last year he shot 39%
39,
from 3.
yeah.
I mean, he's had 3 straight seasons 39% from 3 or better.
Garland too.
What did Garland shoot this past year?
This year he only shot 37.
What's Garland's? What's his true shooting?
I gotta go back. This year, dog shit. I'm gonna tell you that in advance.
D'Lo, these last 2 D'Lo has been at true shooting 60%, 60%, 61%, 59% the last 4 years.
I think Garland is. He could be number 10, but all I'm saying is that I think it's some conversations
61,
here.
59.
It's some conversations here.
I just think it's only in conversation because he had a bad year. I'll be honest.
Well, yeah, that's what makes the
So
conversation.
if you think this is the player he's going to be, you have all rights to say that.
No, I don't think this is the player's going to be. I'm just saying, like
because
right
this
now,
is the player D'Lo's going to be.
Right now, who is better? Like who's better? Just right now, who's a better player?
Darius Garland's going to bounce back. I'm done with this.
Nah, I agree. I would rather have D'Lo on my team because I think there's obviously more upside there. But like pound for pound, this past year, I mean, it was
so.
It was
The best version of Garland that you were thinking of won't be better than Brunson, Curry, Mitchell, Trae Young, or Fox.
No.
Are we locked in on that, or you think he could be better than someone like Fox?
Like, are you now you're asking me a different question?
Yeah, like his potential.
I don't think he's.
I don't think he could be as best as Fox. As
could
good
be
as
a better.
Fox.
What is Fox?
Fox was a borderline All NBA player.
What is Fox, like a top?
25.
Yes.
Fox is like 25 and 7 tonight.
25.
No, I'm talking about like where is he in the league?
He's like a top 25 player.
I think Garland's peak is top 30.
You think he could be as good as Tyrese Maxey, what he's doing right now?
With Maxey's continued improvement, no.
What is Maxey at 25 a game? I think Garland's like a 22 and 9 guy, 22, 23 and 9 guy.
Fox is like 29.
And moving forward, who are you taking, Anthony Simons or Garland?
Garland probably. That's really
I like
good
Simons.
question.
Because Deep Mitch is there, I'd probably take Simons.
The passing value
I
definitely.
mean, Garland last year and the year before, he was 22 and 8.
Shot creation. Anthony's a better shot creator.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely hurt Garland that he's playing with Mitchell.
Yeah, like
and he doesn't.
Well, no,
throw the ball.
even without Mitchell.
No, last year
Simon's a better
he was
shot creator.
22 and 8. With,
No, I
Mitchell.
know. I'm just talking about the numbers.
Yeah,
The numbers
but even
and
when
stuff.
Mitchell wasn't
it's
there,
not.
he was
I'm
only
telling
averaging.
you it's not.
Garland only averaged 22
The year
points
before
back
Mitch got there, he was 22 and 9. When D Mitch got there, he was 22 and 8.
I think Simons is a better shot creator. I agree with you. I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
The range, versatility.
But
Tell
the
me, bro, he
playmaking
just broke his jaw.
aspect with Garland is better. That's
It's a tough
definitely
look.
where
He just
got
broke his
the
jaw.
edge.
I'm telling you, he's going to bounce back next year.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of psychology that goes into that.
well,
you
and
know?
he gets hit in the
I respect
face.
it.
He doesn't want to go down there.
He's got hit in the face
respect
at least
it.
twice in the Celtics series already.
Yeah, he's trying to protect himself.
You know, we got to throw in an NFL topic in here because you know we have to make sure we feed our
Rookie
NFL
minicamp was
audience.
today.
Yes, rookie
Shout out
minicamp
Pittsburgh.
has started. We got pictures of Jaden Daniels and
Zach
Taylor,
Frazier
the
snapping.
jerseys.
Yep.
JJ McCarthy did not look good when I saw. I wasn't a big fan of the clips. They're just mini camp clips, so I'm not taking it too seriously. Obviously,
Remember when Jamar Chase was dropping the ball and stuff?
Yeah. I remember he had that quote saying like the college ball and the NFL ball is different. People are going crazy.
but listen, man,
Stroud.
rookie camp has started. The NFL is kicking off. I think next week they're gonna release the schedule.
Yes, they are.
That's gonna be huge. So we'll be giving our predictions on teams once that happens moving forward.
I'm excited for the Jets.
But
happening
this
again.
episode, this topic is going to try to be all in one, try to encapsulate one division. It's the biggest question mark for every NFC team. All four of us have been tasked with the responsibility of coming up with the biggest question for that one division. Riv, you got the ball rolling first with the NFC East. What are the biggest questions for every team in the NFC East?
So the NFC East, man, you know, it's been one of the most historic divisions in football. You know, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the New York Giants. They just drafted Malik Neighbors. I gave 2 needs. So for offense, I did that, and defense. For the Giants, it was tough for me to find the defense because I think bringing in Brian Burns was dope. I guess my question for them is, in their secondary, it's really young. How are they going to respond? Because I do think Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns as a duo, it's going to be incredible. I think Kayvon Thibodeau's going to be able to eat off of those 2 guys. So you got pretty much 2 of the top 10, you know, pass rushers in football, and then you got Kayvon who, you know, can clean up stuff. So I think their defense in the run game, their defense in just the sack department, just to get to the quarterback, I think it's going to be great. It's going to be an underrated part of their defense. But how is that secondary going to be able to hold up? How are the linebackers going to play? With the offense is, will they be fooled by Daniel Jones again? You know, you just picked up Malik Neighbors in the draft, one of the best receivers in the class. You do have Jalen Hyatt, who I'm expecting to break out here. He is one of my guys for sure, stamping that early. And then you got Wan'Dale Robinson, who I think he had a really good rookie year for his standards, you know, plus in the situation they had. How are the Giants going to respond to offense? You don't have Saquon, who's been kind of backpacking you in offense for the last 2 seasons. He kind of willed you to that playoff moment. He kind of willed you to winning that game and stuff. And Daniel Jones, he had a solid year, but he didn't have a $40 million year. So now does he come in this year? Does he play incredible with these weapons? Now you're looking at, do we pay him again? How many wins do we have? Can we even get a quarterback? So that Daniel Jones, how well does he play? That's definitely looming for me. For the Eagles, I think it was pretty simple for me. Offense is just the play caller. You know, how would they respond? Will it be stale? Will it be dull? You have easily one of the most talented offensive groups in football. You now have Saquon at running back, which I think they should force feed him as much. Don't have him sharing no touches. This guy is one of the best. You still have, even though you lost Kelsey, Lane Johnson, Jordan Malala, you still have one of the best offensive lines in football. You have a great quarterback in Jalen Hurts, and then you have one of the best duos in A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. I really don't feel like Smith got utilized as much as he should last year, and then A.J. Brown towards the back end of the year didn't get force-fed like he needed to. So with Kellen Moore, it's just about figuring out this offense. For defense, for me, it's really about the secondary. Like, what can they do? This secondary is young. We just had a couple good players in the draft. It's really young. We had a couple guys like Ringo that's coming back from last year. The linebackers are still a little questionable. I think this defensive line, it's just about, can it click? Can this defensive line get to the quarterback? Can the secondary hold up? This defense did not click last year. They got a ton of sacks, but the defensive line kind of got stale towards the back end of the year. For the Dallas Cowboys on offense, it's who's the other guy outside of CeeDee Lamb? I mean, you don't really have a legit running back. You have a couple unproven guys. You do have what's the tight end, Jake Ferguson. You do have who I think he's really good, but you really don't have any elite, reliable guy outside of CeeDee Lamb. Yeah. And then for defenses, it's money time. You know, you have Trayvon Diggs who's coming off an injury. His contract is coming up. You know, you got Lawrence. You got all these guys. Dak, of course, too. He's coming up. But Trayvon Diggs, you know, he's coming off an injury. You know, you have Deron Blaine who had a great rookie year. How is this defense kind of going to respond in that department in the run game? For the Commanders, I thought this one was intriguing for me. For offense, it's just about how much can Jaden McDaniels uplift you. You know, Jaden Daniels, pardon me. You kind of have Terry McLaurin. You know, he's good. You have Jahan Dotson, you know, so you have some guys there that, you know, look serviceable. They did pick up some guys for the offensive line. So it's just about how can Jaden make you believe that May was not the pick and you picked the right guy? Can he be the guy that uplifts this team? It's going to be a tough division with, you know, the defenses of the Giants, the Eagles. And then on defense, can this team muster up any type of effort from their secondary, from the linebackers? They did let Cameron Curl go. They let Kendall Fuller go, so they don't really have anything in the secondary. And outside of Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne, they're kind of a little muddy out there too. So defensively, can they click? Can they get something or some effort out the secondary?
That's great. I think those are all valid question marks. Malik Neighbors just recently came out and said that he called off his Rookie of the Year bet with Jaden Daniels.
He said he went to the betting symposium that they do for all rookies. He said, after that, I learned my lesson.
That's hilarious.
How much was the bet?
$10K.
$10K. People have speculated he called it off because Daniel Jones.
No way he bet with a
is his quarterback.
No, that killed me. They said one day of practice with Daniel Jones, and Malik said he's done.
So, John, we can move on to the NFC North for you.
I'm down. So, starting off, we're going to go with the NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings. So, my biggest questions with this team will be based around their 2 first-round picks. J.J. McCarthy, 10th overall selection. I'm pretty high on J.J. He was my number 3 prospect in this class, but the question is, does he start day 1 and the entire season? Or do they allow Sam Darnold to be the bridge who gives him some time to sit behind and learn? I expect McCarthy to win this job, and we don't know what their schedule is going to look like to start the year, but I'm excited to see how he's able to really evolve and thrive with these weapons they have. There's an abundance of them. On the other side, defensively, they made a good amount of moves these last couple of years, but Brian Flores was huge. Is he able to get the absolute most out of their new edge rushing trio of Andrew Van Ginkel from the Dolphins, we've got Jonathan Grenard from the Texans, and of course in the draft, they took Dallas Turner. That pass rush is going to be what makes or breaks that defense, and I think this Viking team will be a lot more competitive than people may think. Next team up, I've got the Detroit Lions. There's no real hole in this team, and it's the same exact thing the next team we're going to talk about, but my biggest question would have to be their secondary. You move off of Cam Sutton, and you replace him with Carlton Davis, and then you bring in 2 rookies, Ennis Rakeshaw, and also Terry and Arnold. I'm curious to see which one of those rookies stands out between the 2. You're also getting that return of Brian Branch and Terry and Arnold together, 2 players in that Alabama secondary a year ago. But on the offense side for the Lions, my question is Jameson Williams. 4 different players in that Lion team had 10 touchdowns last year. There's an abundance of weapons. We saw deep in the playoffs how valuable Williams' skill set can be to basically complete that offense. And I think the connection between him and Goff will be a huge one. Next up, got the Packers. Like the Lions, they really don't have a huge need. There are some questions, though, and specifically at the wide receiver position, I'm curious to find out which one of those young weapons is going to become wide receiver 1. Early on, we thought it may have been Christian Watson in his rookie year, has not been healthy. Will it be Dontavian Wicks in year 2?
Oh, I hope so.
He was a prospect that was taken way too late in the draft after a down senior year at Virginia. Or could it be Jayden Reed? Because I think those weapons are going to be what allows Jordan Love to build off of those last 8 weeks, where last 8 weeks of 2023, he was the best quarterback in football. But it's easy to see a regression with a year 2 quarterback. Those weapons will help him. Then on the other side, on the offensive end, though, I'm curious to know what they do on the offensive line. Does Jordan Morgan start at left tackle? Could they kick in Elton Jenkins to center and then move Rasheed Walker to guard? That's a possibility. There's a lot of different pieces in the Packers offensive line that can move around. That's something the Packers offensive line coach has done quite a bit. We saw that with Jenkins. Next team up, or I think this is the last team, the Chicago Bears. For me, it's the transition from Justin Fields to Caleb Williams. In the last 2 years, the Bears offense has been built around a rushing attack, which is one of, if not the best in football. But now you're bringing a new OC, a rookie quarterback, and one of the best rookie quarterbacks we've seen in the last decade, and 2 young, I shouldn't say young because Keenan Allen's over 30, but you're bringing 2 stud wide receivers as well. So I think the biggest question for Chicago is going to be how fluid the transition is from a run-first offense to a group that'll probably look a lot more air raid heavy. For a young quarterback and Caleb, that could be a huge responsibility, but it's one that he thrived with at USC.
Yeah, I mean, it's a division that every team can make the playoffs.
Yeah,
but
I'm with you.
With the Packers, I want to just touch on the defense. I'm really interested to see how that defense plays because their defense has talent from top to bottom. They should be one of the best defenses in the league, but Joe Barry's held them back the last couple of seasons. If Jeff Hafley can get them together on the same page and the scheme fulfills their talents, we're talking about a top 5 defense in the league.
I'm with you. They've always at the talent level. It's been the scheme and really the aggressiveness of that unit.
You want to do the South next? Or you want to do your
I got the NFC West, brother.
West. Yeah, sorry, my apologies. I have the South. Yeah, do you want to do South or West?
You could do the South.
Okay. South, not as intriguing, I don't think, as the West really any of these divisions. So the first team I have, who do I have? Oh, the Bucks. Sorry. First team I have is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're kind of in this weird phase of their team because you're in this post-Brady era where Brady's team was ready to win Super Bowls. They're ready to win now, and they're still in that. But my question is good enough going to be good enough? Baker Mayfield is good enough. He showed you this past season to possibly win the division, to possibly win a playoff game, and to be borderline like a top 15 to 17 quarterback. He's good enough, but is he ever going to be good enough to win you a Super Bowl? Todd Bowles, I think he's a good coach. I think especially defensively, he could bring you some things we saw, especially in that Eagles game. He gave them a lot of trouble. But I don't look at Todd Bowles as like this undisputed top 10 or maybe even top 15 coach in the league. He's good enough to keep you afloat, but I don't know if he's going to get you over the hump. So right now with this kind of win now team they have, when you have Mike Evans, you just paid him, you have Chris Godwin, of course you paid Baker Mayfield, you kept this group together, but I don't know if they're players to bring it back all the way, into fold. I don't know if they're ever going to be good enough to kind of get over the hump. The Saints, my question is, are you going to come in 3rd or 4th place? That's my questions about the New Orleans Saints. Because realistically, this is a team that's telling itself it's competing. You're paying 35-year-old Cam Jordan. You're paying 33-year-old Derek Carr. You're still paying, I think, $12 or $13 million of Michael Thomas' salary. Taysom Hill, his cap hit this year is like $16 million. You could thank Sean Payton for that one. So there's this team, they're this team that are saying we're competing. We're going to go get Derek Carr to be our quarterback. But realistically, I think other teams in this division just passed you up. The Carolina Panthers, did you do enough to solve the Bryce Young issue? At the end of this past season, CJ Stroud by far and away should be the number 1 pick. And I think a lot of people will probably say Anthony Richardson would be second off that board. And you could probably ask people and say, I might take Will Levis and his potential upside over Bryce Young. But I will say this. Last offseason they tried. They bring in Adam Thielen, Jonathan Mingo, Miles Sanders. Not a lot of them have worked out yet. This offseason, you trade for Deontay Johnson, you draft Xavier Legette, and also Jonathan Brooks, so I think has potential to be a 3-down running back in the NFL. Of course, you also signed Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt to big contract, huge. And then Dave Canales is head coach, who has revived Baker Mayfield and Geno Smith's career. Have all of these moves fixed the potential mistake you made by taking Bryce Young over CJ Stroud?
Yes.
The last team I have is the Atlanta Falcons.
There we go.
To me, they're simple. Is Kirk Cousins the answer? You have a clear path right now where I think you have a borderline top 10 defense. I think the offensive line is good enough. You have weapons galore. You have the running back. There are really no questions around this team except for, is Kirk Cousins going to be ready to do it? This is a team that's in a really bad division, arguably the worst in the NFL. You're in the lesser of two conferences where you have a 49ers team who look pretty good, but I don't think they're unbeatable. The Lions are a good team, but I don't think they're unbeatable. Same thing with the Eagles. There's no one in this NFC that the Falcons should be looking at saying there is no way we could get past them. The only way they're not able to reach an NFC championship or a Super Bowl is if, one, Kirk Cousins is not 100% healthy. Two, if he is healthy, is he the same Kirk Cousins as we've seen before? But lastly, if he's still that same Kirk Cousins we saw before, is that good enough to get you to a Super Bowl?
I think those are all valid. The NFC South, in a weird way, is very interesting because I think what happens with the Falcons and the Panthers are intriguing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Saints are kind of like the shit show that nobody really cares about. That's like, we kind of know where their pathway ends.
I'm not going to lie. Sorry,
got 9 wins last year.
Yeah, some way, somehow. I was stumbling over my first team because I couldn't think what city the Bucks are from. I wanted to say New Orleans Bucks so bad. I was like, that's not fucking right. Where are they from?
The Saints had the easiest schedule in the league last year. That's probably why they had 9 wins.
Makes sense.
If you look at their schedule, you probably had 11. It was that easy.
Blow that lead to the Packers early on.
I like that I had the NFC West. Biggest question marks for every team in the NFC West. Number 1, 49ers. Will their defense improve by firing Steve Wilks? You know, there are question marks I have about the offense, like, is Debo or Ayuk getting traded? We don't know. If one gets traded, I think it's going to be Debo. But on defense, this is the biggest question mark. They dropped from the number 1 defense in EPA in 2022 to number 12 in 2023 under Steve Wilks. They fired him after the Super Bowl, and they lost Eric Armstead and Chase Young. So how does this defensive line improve with Steve Wilks gone? Do you get better? Number 2, with the Rams. The Rams are easy. How much will the loss of Aaron Donald affect this defense? They tried to address their defensive line by drafting Jared Verse in the first round, Braden Fisk in the second round. But, you know, your defensive line with Kobe Turner, Byron Young, and Jared Verse, it sounds good, but it's not going to make up the loss of Aaron Donald. And if you're not getting pressure, it's going to put a lot of pressure on your secondary to cover for a longer period of time. The Seahawks, it's the offensive line. Abraham Lucas looked like a gem, but he regressed after having some knee injuries that has affected his play. Charles Cross was their best offensive lineman last year, but he doesn't look to be worthy of that top 10 pick selection. He's just an average to below average starting left tackle right now. They ranked 28th in offensive line play last year, according to PFF. They had the 4th worst pass blocking efficiency. So this offensive line that did not get addressed at all this offseason, how will it look? How will it hold up? And then the last one with the Cardinals, how good will this offense be? When Kyler Murray came back in Week 10, they were 9th in EPA per play, 2nd in rush EPA, and 15th in pass EPA. And Kyler was 17th in EPA in that span. But you add Marvin Harrison Jr. They just signed Zay Jones, who I think could be a good compliment. Greg Dortch, Michael Wilson, those are solid receivers. And you have Trey McBride, who could make his case for being one of the better tight ends after this league year ends.
He could be a top 5 tight end pretty confident
already.
He's been that good, and he's been an under-the-radar player for them. So with all that offensive weaponry at his disposal, can Kyler Murray get the absolute max, the ceiling of this group?
Did you mention Trey Benson?
I did not mention
He's
Trey
a star.
Benson.
He's going to be a star. Yeah,
Like
he
I
runs
think-
just like Nick Chubb.
I think James Conner is probably the starter for this year, but he gets banged up a lot. If he's able to come in, and he could catch out the backfield too. He could run. I like Trey Benson.
I'm not a believer in Arizona's defense, but I think their offense could be very entertaining
Yes.
on a week-to-week basis.
Too.
I mean, it has that type of potential. But those are all the question marks for every team in the NFC. I'm very excited for the football season.
I haven't heard the phrase EPA, and man, it's been months. It's been months.
It's been too long.
It's been too long.
It's my favorite play, man.
I'm excited for my team.
My favorite stat.
I'm feeling really good too because the Steelers won the draft. So
One
of the winners of the draft. I won't be biased.
I'm going to Steelers-Eagles game this year.
That's
Really?
They play this year, in Pittsburgh.
At Lincoln?
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
You're going to love Pittsburgh.
Lincoln
The
Financial
drive is-
Field.
It should be in I don't either.
Philadelphia or Pittsburgh?
I believe it's in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's the track. It's
What's
good
the
6
name of the
hours.
stadium now?
Not
Don't worry
Hines.
It's not Heinz Field.
Regardless of
I
whichever
won't
one,
say.
me and my boy, we are going because he's a Pittsburgh fan.
That's
That's
fire.
tough.
Dude, it's one of the best cities. And the atmosphere there, it's second to none. It's like a college
Yeah, I remember we
atmosphere.
went to a Philly game with them and the Bulls, and that was exciting. I had fun. With
Definitely
that.
got to go to Jets game this year.
I'm going
Oh, yeah,
to
for sure.
Pittsburgh. It's Acrisure Stadium. I hate saying it, but I'm probably going as well.
We were really number 1 on Mike Clay's unit grades. I said, holy shit. I said, he kind of cooked.
last year, after week 1, going to any Jets games just deflating.
I know.
I don't
you
think
you guys really do deserve better.
I didn't go to a Jets game last year.
No, I didn't either. I mean,
once
it was
Rodgers went down, I was cooked. The last couple years, I've been to a few.
You guys deserve like a real full season of Rodgers.
And I want, and week 1, bro, I want a layup. We've been like play fucking like the Bills week 1 and shit, like have all these games. Like I want a layup. I want a 1:00 game. I don't want prime time. Everyone, I want a 1:00 game against Washington. That's how I want to start the season.
What if they beat you guys?
Not happy.
I mean,
we started
our
with
defense.
the Bills. Fucking
start the Bills again this year?
No. Well, we'll find out next week. Who knows? Maybe we do.
I mean, but Mike Clay
No, that
is
game
not
was
wrong
prime
though.
time.
Patriots would be great.
Like the aura on that game when it was Bills, Jets, Aaron Rodgers versus like the aura was insane.
Those first few plays too. Brees Hall fucking 30-yard run. Oh my god.
It'd be cool seeing Jets Green Bay, like Love versus Rodgers.
That would be cool.
Now the aura of the Monday Night Football games that the Jets used to have with the Miami Dolphins, like in 2010, when
like
they
the
wore
Revis and
orange,
Brandon Marshall matchups.
bro.
Yeah.
Those games were the best.
Really never made the playoffs. He must feel insane.
He got screwed the year he was with us, man. We choked.
But with the Jets, listen, we might have the most talented roster in the NFL. You just can't trust the Jets. That's really what it is.
It's just a bad luck factor.
If this was any team, if this was the Texans with our exact same roster, people would be like, the Texans are going to win the Super Bowl. Because I think top to bottom, we might have a better roster than the Texans.
I'm with you.
The Jets.
Yeah.
Defense. Offense, I think you...
Coaching's a big question.
1,000%.
Yes,
the difference in coaching.
Aaron Rodgers, the offensive coordinator. Got to hope for the best.
Hey, listen, he's done it before.
Could have Matt Canada.
He's done it before. That's going to do it for this episode of the Pick Aside Podcast, episode 377. You guys can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Pick Aside Podcast, on Twitter at Pick Aside Pod. Thank you guys for listening and or watching, and we'll see you guys next time.